This is international soccer celebrity Chris Doran, and you're listening to ACES Radio.
Now, shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to
ACES Radio.
They're in your face, they're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, here are your hosts, Morgan Hughes, John Zadar, and Greg Benson.
Oh, yeah, baby. Ignorant sluts, shit lords, and celebrity fans alike. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, it's already too late. You're tuned into the latest, the lamest, and possibly last episode of ACES Radio. A Buffalo Bills podcast only. Coming up tonight on the program, Cruisers FC and the 2017 preseason with a Challenge Cup courtesy of Carolina. The panel will discuss major things afoot in the Cruisers FC front office. Jersey sponsors galore. Professional artist John Zadar will give you his color impressions. Cracking the code, man balls, both things that will be happening or something. On segment 2, the rarest of rare treats as a celebrity guest, unlike any other, stops by the program, and we actually mean that as a compliment. Chris Doran is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's massive. He's black. He's golden. Where is Pam? Honestly, I need her to do things. On segment 3, we head live on Periscope for your hot takes, aka the battle for the grand prize. User Phil Goldfart's taking an early command, John. But it's Christmas Eve.
Is he the current leader?
He is.
Nice.
I have a feeling he's about to be challenged. Prediction scores, prediction updates, Cruisers FC 2017 preview, Hang on Tour, the AGS Attack War, and so much fucking more. Broadcasting live from the beautiful room here at Zauber Brewing Company, and brought to you by ZZ Boots, Wildman's Leather and Lace. My name is continuing champion Morgan Hughes, a.k.a. number 1 Hansi Boy. And I'm joined, as always, by the absentee amateur artist himself, Captain Jean-Luc the Wet Boy Zidard. And Gregulator 614, the Hollywood racist Greg Wesley Crusher Benson. Mapaches, friends, lads from different dads, brothers from multiple mothers, and amigos de Guillermo. How the hell have you been?
It is a pleasure to be on another road trip in the vehicle that only furthers your ego, and I'm okay with that.
Too early for the hot takes, Greg. That's segment 3. Back to you, John.
You know,
SS Morgan Prize?
Morgan Prize?
Whatever the equivalent
more
of the
grand
Enterprise
prize
would be.
Someday when one of you shitlords gets a trophy presented to you by Anthony Precourt,
Yeah.
which he inscribes his own, comment about me on it.
He
Or about
actually,
you.
that's a real thing that he totally did.
Yeah.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Welcome back. It's ACES Radio, everyone. We're having a great time here. It's Christmas Eve. We're at Zauber Brewing Company, as always, joined by, John, perhaps a gaggle fuck, if you will, of celebrity guests here at
That
the
seems
brewing room.
appropriate.
I'd call him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that machine that was making noises go off?
No, still going.
I can still hear it.
Wonderful. What
Darby,
if
why don't you go back there and just start yanking things? Just
Yeah.
pull stuff.
Jarby
Just-
Schnervis, please
yeah.
do your job. John, what if I told you I was going to go ahead and unmute Channel 2?
Oh, I would imagine that would be because the person that you teased in the intro is here.
Did I say something about Doran?
You said it.
That's right, ladies
You
and gentlemen.
literally called him by name.
Welcome back to the program, international soccer celebrity Chris Doran.
It is nice to be here.
Chris Doran.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't want to ever speak again.
It's nice to have somebody on the show who finally acts like a professional.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, John.
I love coming in here, and I love the Zauber Brewing Company. And I also love to see the setup that you guys dedicate
Tell
to
us
this
more.
cast.
Several checks are in the mail
Every
already.
flipping week. I cannot believe
Morgan, please put your
the
pants on.
technology behind this.
Tell us how much of a professional podcast this is compared to what in the industry was happening when you were a program director. I'll hang up and take your answer.
I don't think we had podcasts back then. I mean, it was a long time ago. We had boards. We had, a lot of slides and stuff and buttons that I had to worry about. And, for the most part, it was just cheesy radio. But
And
this
no
is,
one
this
talked-
Is top, this is top line.
No one talked about the Buffalo Bills.
No, not even an iota.
Unbelievable.
No, it wasn't.
It was
the
amazing
topic.
to me that anybody had time for that.
Ain't nobody
got time for that.
And they still don't.
Good timing on the drop.
Moving on.
I love how the drops were the setup, and
Right.
now he sets up the
Right.
drops.
He's been there. He's done that. He's
We
back.
were all just looking at you, waiting for the inevitable, weren't we?
Welcome back. That's because my chair is taller than yours. We move on now to the Carolina Challenge Cup. John, something I said to you in the opening, we probably wouldn't talk about this unless it was a preseason
You're on
tournament.
there, Beckman. Calm down. Sit down.
Jesus Christ, Nate. We wouldn't be talking about the Carolina Challenge Cup unless we beat Seattle in it somehow. So
Yes.
this goes from a meaningless tournament of which we really don't have any feelings to really one of the most important things that's ever happened in the history of our franchise.
Yeah.
John Zadar, the wet boy.
Oh, this tournament feels so special now.
The butt. Are you making fun of the way that I say that word?
Yeah, I am.
That's great.
You might have to look up the correct pronunciation on Wikipedia.
Yeah. I'm going to get you just a Merriam-Webster dictionary for your birthday. He'll be turning, what, 47?
Son of a bitch.
48?
Is it a dictionary or is it a dictionary?
Dictionary.
Dictionary.
Great.
I don't know. I've always wanted to win this tournament, so I'm really happy that we finally did.
Is there a trophy attached to this?
I was a little bit underwhelmed by the trophy itself.
Okay,
I mean,
so there is one. I didn't know.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was. It was a small one. I mean,
Is it an armadillo or
It
what
wasn't
stuffed animal
It wasn't
is
an
it?
armadillo. It was. I can't remember. It was something that was like native to South Carolina, so it was like a burning cross or something. I don't know.
Oh,
like,
jeez.
Oh, it was. Oh, they had it flying outside the State House for a few months. I heard.
I would have preferred to see the actual armadillo up there, like just hanging out on the flagpole,
We all would have.
like still living, just like maybe swinging around it a bit. Just you got to earn money somehow.
Are you allowed to have such fiery hot takes this early in the show, Greg? Back to
Absolutely
you.
not, and that's exactly why I'm doing it anyway.
Wonderful.
Breaking all the rules
No,
on
it was-
Christmas Eve.
Oh yes.
It was very clearly a cup that was at stake, hence Carolina
Yes.
Challenge Cup. We won it. We won it against the hated Seattle Sounders since 1974, trademark symbol. John, I go to you. Does this mean anything in a legitimate fashion leading into a season? Does it matter that we beat two MLS teams and a USL team?
I mean, I don't know how much stock you can put in those games, since you never know what kind of lineups you're playing, and you don't know what kind of lineups you're playing against. But I mean, I guess it's a good sign that we won rather than lost. But I don't know. I don't know how much it actually means long term, especially with MLS. The way MLS works is just
At the same time, had the Crew lost every single game in that tournament, we all would have been like, it's preseason, it doesn't really matter. So
right.
I think it's a bit hypocritical if we look at this any other way than, it's preseason, it doesn't matter.
Well, if we're trying to sugarcoat and put a spin on it, we can say it is a really good sign that we won without Ola Kamara, Chris. Like, we won this tournament without our biggest scoring threat. Back to you.
Right. It reminds me of if you had MLS teams entering the U.S. Open Cup in the round of 32, for example, you're not going to start your guys, right? You're
Yeah.
going to start guys that are trying to fish for time, and you're going to start guys who need to solidify their position on the squad. So in that regard, I think probably both teams in the championship game of the Carolina Cup are approaching the game in the same vein. And so it does have meaning. It does have substantial meaning that there were parts of the game for each team that worked and broke down. And in the end, Crew SC was able to prevail.
It was a really different game in that it felt like kind of two different games. Like, we dominated the shit out of Seattle in both possession and attempts and legitimate chances created.
What
and then-
else is new?
Right. But I mean, it kind of felt different because there was some real, up the middle, up the gut attempts on goal happening, as opposed to the Tony Chani and Will Trapp experience in the midfield, passing back and forth to each other.
Yeah, I think there's from a fan perspective, I still think I don't know if it's that important, but I think I agree with Chris in that, like, from a coaching standpoint, there's probably a huge amount of value from these games where they're really analyzing and seeing, okay, are the starters doing what we thought they were going to do, and are they still starters? And versus, is this bench guy, he's facing MLS competition in these games, is this bench guy maybe better than we anticipated or not as good as we anticipated, something like that. So
You're
Coaching-
absolutely right.
The coaching staff of Seattle, Greg, was probably saying to themselves, is Ozzie Alonso still a pile of human garbage? And is he going to go double studs up into a dude and try to ruin his fucking career in a meaningless preseason competition? Answer to that, Greg, is yes. Back to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, John was right in that the coaches will get more out of this than the fans will, because the fans can sit back in a little bit of luxury and say, yeah, we're not actually coaching the team. Now, of course, come week 1 of MLS, that will change and they will start coaching the team, as we know. But at least for now, they're like, all right, you tried out some stuff and some stuff works, and now you know a little bit more than you did before the season or before preseason started.
Even if you don't rank the importance of the game very highly, I think it's still an encouraging sign that we beat MLS Cup holders.
That was nice. I mean, that's
regardless of what the lineups actually were.
It's a nice feather to have in your cap, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, it's always nice to beat a team that didn't have a shot on goal in the last game they played that won them a fucking
but which are still
star
getting
above
ranked
their
as
craft.
the top team going into the season.
Trash.
Most everybody.
Yeah. Garbage. I thought it was good to see Higuain healthy. He was doing some Pippa shit that we haven't seen from him in a while. I don't know. Chris, do you take anything from this tournament or this game that is meaningful going into a season?
Yeah, I do. There's a lot of preseason work that goes into preparation for the MLS team, for the MLS season, and I think one of the downfalls is that there's a lot of play within the squad itself, not a lot of play against other teams. And so when you have this opportunity a couple of weeks out to play a couple of quality teams, MLS squads, then you've got to embrace that. And as John mentioned earlier, really figure out if those starters that you had a hunch on early on have solidified their spot and whether or not there are players that we need to take a deeper look at.
Did you get a chance to see all 3 games?
I sure didn't.
Okay, I just didn't. I was gonna. My follow-up question was going to be if you saw enough of any of them. Was there anyone that specifically you felt stood out? Or anything like that. I don't know if you saw enough of them or if any of them, but
no,
okay.
I did not.
I was just curious.
You faked it a lot better than the rest of us do.
I didn't either. I barely watched any of them personally. So
Rough lads.
nice.
None of you people
that
care.
was very well timed.
Bunch of
Morgan.
fucking rough lads. Ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Cruisers FC win their first cup of 2017. Hopefully not the last, John.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on, we talk now briefly, because we covered it a little bit in segment 3, because, again, everything happens on Thursdays, as current prison inmate John Clem, who's graced us with his presence, will tell you.
He's busy hiding a burger in his beard.
He sure is. There's a
Not
shit
very,
in there
not
somewhere.
very well because I can see it.
If I leave this bacon out long enough, I can stab somebody with it. It's what he's thinking right now. Rough lads. So, Acura is officially what was a rumor last Thursday is official now. Acura is the jersey sponsor of Columbus Cruisers FC. I still can't believe we live in a world where a brand like that would associate themselves with a team,
Especially with
that lost Andres Mendoza and really never recovered.
especially with the taxi cab print down the side, which has never been on an Acura ever.
Correct. So
You'll be seeing them outside Crew Stadium this year.
pretty
New
much.
Acura taxis.
I want to go around the panel. Again, that's a Latin term for podcast host. John, I start with you.
Yeah.
The question here is, yes, we're very excited about Acura as a jersey sponsor. Does this, however, improve our perception, not just in MLS, but around the world? John Zdar, the wet boy.
You've written preception on the
I
show
misspelled
rundown,
that.
Yeah, I
That's
was
a lot.
going to
Yeah.
point that out. Thank you, Greg.
Back to you.
Sorry, mate.
No, you're
Didn't
fine.
mean to
You're
steal
fine.
your thunder there.
I just want him to know that he fucked up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benson has been deported.
Get the fuck out of here.
So now you want me to
Green
say,
card,
you want
bitch.
me to say if this sponsorship improves our stock abroad?
It's a legitimate company that we've never really had before on such a visible level.
I think at least locally, or not locally, but in the sense of the world, I'm talking America. I think maybe it makes people take the Crew a little bit more seriously, especially with what our previous sponsor was, which was Barbasol, which seemed to be a great partnership, but is not a company you think of when you think top tier or even maybe second tier companies.
They are a nationally recognized brand, but at the same time,
exactly.
not
Yes.
like at the upper echelons of, they're not like an Emirates Airlines or
Yeah,
anything like that
exactly.
you see on some of the teams in
But
Europe.
I mean, Acura, I think, is up there in that top tier of, car companies with just, how expansive their hold is over that industry. And, I think it improves our reputation.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could say, Chris, I'll go to you on this. You're a businessman. A lot of people are calling you one of the top businessmen in the game today. I've heard that on
Are
the
they
street.
really?
Yeah.
Number one businessman.
They've
Send
said
them my card.
They said your
Businessman.
car is running in the parking lot, your lights are on, and they also said we respect that guy a lot. So maybe what we lost when we got rid of the construction worker logo, in the scheme of like a FIFA thing where people in other countries are like, I love Columbus Crew. I know you're helmet man. Dynamite impression.
That was-
So did we gain back some of
Apparently,
that?
Andres
That's
Mendoza is
Peruvian.
now a crew fan too.
That's not a Peruvian. How,
Oh, it wasn't?
This
What
is
was that?
unbelievable. But Peruvians,
I am Andres Mendoza.
Oh, it's the Peruvians are deeper.
Box of cereal. Right. Two boxes of cereal. It sounded a lot more like the Count.
I'm Andres Mendoza. I'm Peruvian. How dare you? Chris, the businessman that you are, I'd like your hot take regarding whether or not this improves our standing in the global game.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think a lot of people, the common man, if you will, or woman, knows that Acura is a product of Honda outside of Ohio, and in addition, cannot
And I own a Honda.
cannot associate the heart and soul of Honda to the state of Ohio, and thereby see the relationship with Acura. However, I've heard more from people who have said the gold jerseys are the hallmark of this club, and they should have never gone away. And the fact that they're back means that when I turn on the TV and I see gold jerseys, I'm thinking Columbus Crew SC.
Yeah.
I
And you
think that's
don't owe $16 to Eric Krause because you included the SC at the end. You're a pro. God
done.
damn.
Thanks so much.
Almost like he's done it for a living before or something.
Respect you a lot more than I did 5 minutes ago. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Greg Benson, you're you're a businessman.
I try to be. Here and there.
You do try.
I do try. I do try. With varying degrees of success, depending on the scenario.
Our relevancy level, our respect,
Yeah.
with a K on the
Respect.
end of it, in all
Respect,
caps.
bruh.
Respect.
Has
Wow.
that
That's how my
increased?
phone spells that word now, by the way.
Just autocorrect?
Because we texted it so much
Yeah.
that if I try to spell it correctly, it autocorrects it to all caps and with the K. It's fantastic. My mom got it the other day
Excellent.
on accident.
Well, I mean, she probably earned it, John.
Respect, Mom.
Greg, you're from a different country.
I am from a different country.
Two
a
questions.
country where they wear yellow jerseys.
How dare you? And second would be, does this improve our standing in the eyes of Steve Irwin? Back to you.
It's not a lot that improves people standing in the eyes of Steve Irwin, unfortunately. May he rest in peace. But no, I think Chris made an excellent point that you need identifiers, especially when your club or your team is part of a league that is still essentially a niche market in this country. It's not the preeminent sport. It probably never will be, at least not in our lifetimes. So the identifiers, the trademarks, the hallmarks of your team, as you talked about with the hard hat men, and yeah, it wasn't exactly a great logo, but it was something that was unique. It was something that people. No, I didn't like it. Sorry.
No, I wasn't gonna disagree. I was gonna say he mentioned it earlier. People all over the world really loved that thing for some reason. Like when you would play FIFA online, people used that as their like custom club crest.
Sure, they did
all
yeah.
the time.
I mean, because it was unique, and
Yeah.
that's the point that I'm making is that it was something that you could identify with that particular team.
Yeah.
You could say no other team has that, especially at least within the parameters of MLS. I mean, yeah, Colorado's got a gold away jersey and whatnot, but when you think about the banana kits, you think about Columbus. So that to me is more important than the logo that's on the front. It's more important than whether it's Acura or Barbasol, and I don't really have a dog in the fight as far as the which sponsor it is concerned. Yeah, it's nice to have a high-profile luxury car company.
You know,
but
if Cruisers FC do one thing well, I think that its timing changes. They do that really well. So for instance, like when we rebranded from the construction worker logo to the Cruisers FC round logo that we have now, it happened at the same time that we got both two baller-ass New Jerseys and also MLS rebranded at the same time. So it was like fresh slate,
the timing was right for it.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And also when, so we had this For Columbus shit, this kit last year that was just, it was trash.
Beautiful.
I get what they were thinking.
And again,
but that's where it ends.
Anybody who listens to this knows that I don't inherently hate that kit. It was just weird from a, looking at the team perspective, but they come back with it again, right? A return to form, and they have it at the same time as this brand new, wonderful Boku Bucks sponsor. So I just feel like they have a way
It's almost
of
like
branding at the right time.
they did the For Columbus thing last year intentionally to increase the desire and value of the yellow jersey.
It's actually a damn good theory. I can't really,
really impressive.
And one
'Cause-
thing that we were
'cause
talking about
to-
off the air. Go ahead.
Not to like toot my own horn here because I didn't make these connections, but I saw that they did say that they've been talking to Acura about this since 2015. So
You know, I have one thing.
There's 3 of them.
Who among
There you
us
go.
does not own a pair of Bermuda shorts the same color as last year's for Columbus shorts? I've got a pair of those.
I'm from Upper Arlington, so
I was
clearly
going to say I
have
know
them.
more.
I don't.
I don't, but I
Everyone-
really want those shorts.
Everyone in Dublin owns
I
them.
don't, but I'm willing to bet at least, because I also live in Upper Arlington, I'm willing
Murderous
to bet at
Row
least
has
3
them.
or 4
50%
of
of
my neighbors.
Murder's Row.
I mean, we love
Okay,
the color.
100%. Calm down, Josh.
Jesus Christ. That guy's got a knife. Confirm or deny, Greg.
I see what you did there.
Okay, so lastly about this, and then we can move on. I want to get everybody's color impressions of the New Jersey sponsor combined with the New Jersey and the fact that we are going to win the Cup this year. John Zadar, I go to you first. Your color impressions of the whole thing.
I'm going to switch it up, Morgan.
Don't you do it!
I'm going to go with, yellow.
Yellow Beach, Columbus Crew.
Yellow like what, John?
Yellow like the crew.
Okay.
This is great. Loving ACES Radio Season 2. Thanks for coming back, John. Happy to have you.
You're welcome.
Greg, we go to you next, you piece
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah.
Your color...
You know what? I'm going to switch it up a little. I'm going to go with yellow, Morgan.
Oh, yeah, Greg?
Beach,
Yeah.
Columbus Crew.
Yellow like what?
Yellow like the Socceroos, John. Also like the Columbus Crew.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, fantastic. Chris Doran, international soccer celebrity. I go to you, my friend. Your color impressions of... Just do the thing.
Gonna switch it up a little, Morgan. Going with gold, baby.
You know what? We'll play it anyway.
Columbus Crew.
Fan-fucking-tastic, Chris. Oh, the app quit. Oh, this is great. Love it. Obviously, yeah?
Do you want to give your color impression?
Oh, hi, John. Yes. My color impression is...
Now that the important people are out of the way.
Beach, Columbus Crew.
That's right, John. Yell like Columbus Crew fan. Moving on, shitlords.
I've never enjoyed color impressions as much as I
Neither
did
have I.
just now.
This has been a rare treat. I'm so happy. So I'm not going to do the whole intro to cracking the code, but I want to
I
invite...
think you spent all that money on it.
I had 3, 2...
Clap.
Nate Beckman, I'd like to ask
joke.
you to walk up. You have a mouthful of food. This is great. This is great. Got a direct message from Nate Beckman, celebrity shitlord himself, today on Twitter to the official ACES radio account, which is at ACES_radio, I believe, John. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, sorry. What?
Wonderful. So Nate Beckman's like, I'm coming tonight. I want to talk about shit. So, Nate Beckman, you said, and this is how we're going to
Don't
tie
anybody
it in.
else get the idea that they can do the same thing, by the way?
Yeah, you
You
can
don't just tell us that you're coming on the show.
So,
Nate's a special guest.
this is how we're going to tie it into...
middle of a brewery.
Yeah, it's a... Put on Chris
Yeah, it's
Doran's
fine.
headphones.
Just interrupt Chris.
You feel
Check
that
his
warmth that
stuff.
comes off those? Those are Chris Dorn ear warmths. Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on now?
Okay, so Nate said a while ago on Twitter, this is how I'm tying it in with cracking the code. We're going to decipher what he meant. Nate said, I'd like to have money, and, and people sent
know that
money
feel,
to
bro.
you. So, sir, if you would, explain what the hell you're here for.
Thank you, Morgan.
Yeah, by the way, Nate
Closer to the mic. a
Beckman,
little bit.
everyone.
You can pull it out of the thing so that you're not like shoving your crotch in Chris's face.
I don't think that cord is going to go...
Or you can come over here and use mine because it's more easily accessible.
Nah, he's already right there.
Yeah, I was going to get personal there. No, I guess a couple weeks ago, my wife and I had kind of we had decided that we wanted to do something good for some people in town as a way of dealing with our collective frustration around some of the events that were happening.
Trump.
Whatever.
Trump.
Yeah,
And it's immigration van.
yeah.
Stop trying to explain it without
I thought
explaining
this is
it.
cracking the code. This is like I say something and then you guys say what I really mean.
You don't need to stay on message.
Yeah. So
Blood and urine are fine.
That was
with this.
not. That was poorly explained. My apologies.
we were disgusted by, I guess, the immigration ban, especially with refugees. And my wife herself, at one point being an immigrant, kind of decided, there's people locally who we can help, and found an organization called Community Immigration and Refugee Services, CRIS, CRIS.
Yeah.
And
Friends of the show.
yeah, well, we contacted their executive director. We've worked with them to... We basically created a fundraiser, and we reached out to people all over the interwebs.
Including ACES radio listeners.
ACES radio listeners were incredible. I think
Bunch of deplorables.
More money came from ACES radio listeners than any other group by far. There was a lot of exactly. There was and Victoria was actually really surprised. Not that she thought
What
you guys
the
were a
fuck
bunch
does
of,
that
like,
mean?
dirt bags or anything, but she was.
How dare that
There
woman?
were so many.
She thinks you suck, listeners.
No, I mean, we have. I think there's up to like 52 now individual contributors to this fund.
Wonderful.
And I want to say at least 15 or 20 or so are obviously and clearly through ACES Radio. It was really exciting. It was really fun.
That's fantastic.
So I just wanted to thank everybody who contributed, no matter what you did. You know, we appreciate it, and we met with the executive director yesterday. Her name's Angie.
Mm-hmm.
Angie was like blown away. She was really thrilled at that we would go out and kind of do this on our own. And there's other things in town. If you look through, if you go on Twitter or Facebook especially, there's events popping up now all the time for this organization, CRIS. There's two big ones left in town. One of them, World Relief, had to close because of this. They're funded normally through estimate.
Don't laugh. It's a serious
estimate
subject.
that was fucking fun.
Shouldn't have played that
Through
back.
the estimates
true.
of the number of refugees coming in
Yeah.
to town, and that number has basically been cut in half. So everybody loses their funding. They at least fire a bunch of people, if not closing shop entirely. And that group did close up. But there's two other big ones in town, Chris and one other one. So either way, if that's something that that you think you want to continue to help out with, look for those things online. There's lots of fundraisers. There's actually one at Land Grant coming up.
Yeah.
I think March 29th. So I'll definitely
We will share that via the Twitter.
go
Yeah,
there.
we will not.
Yeah, so
I will.
They're fun.
Nope.
It's fun stuff. And,
You don't get to tell me what to do.
I'll delete it.
I'll change the password.
No, you won't. I'll change it first.
This is unprofessional.
The new password is Rough Lads.
I hate it
You
when mom
can't
and dad
change the
fight.
password without my permission.
I'll do whatever I want.
Nate, fantastic. You know, on behalf of
33% of our panel, which is Latin for podcast hosts, are immigrants.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh, really? Where's Chris from?
It's. I was going to say it's John.
roasted. I don't know how
Come
I
on,
come back from that.
Sidar. How American is that? I don't think
It's
so.
another one of
Very
those
American.
celebrity shitlord Nick Rigsby type of things where like ACES radio listeners raise a bunch of money for charity, and it just blows me away that A, anybody listens to this pile of trash, and B, those that do are inclined to help others. So thank you, Nate, for stopping by. Thank all of you out there that contributed. If any good can come from ACES Radio, it offsets the bad things like stealing banners and all that shit. So, it's a rare treat, my friends, to be involved with something
And we're off.
as wonderful as the Beckman clan. Victoria Beckman, by the way, has one of the possibly the most underused Twitter handles of all time. She's literally never tweeted. And that woman is a goddamn treat. Her
She's a lot better than her husband.
Her immigrant story is honestly like probably infinity times better than Greg's.
Yeah, it's much more interesting.
Yeah.
Like she put herself through like goddamn med school, like living in a fucking trash bin or some shit. You'll have to talk to her about.
I mean, I lived in North Linden, which is
okay, that's way worse. Yeah. And didn't you have something to do with Port Clinton in one time?
Yo, I don't want to
dude, I
talk
take
about
it
it.
back. I'm
I
so
don't like
sorry,
to talk
Greg.
about
Jesus
it. at all.
tits. All right, so
5 years in Sandusky was bad enough.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
spent 5 years in Sandusky one night.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on.
I don't. Oh, I do get that one.
It's a joke that like an old salesman might make.
Yeah.
And you laugh and you buy his product anyway, so he leaves your office. We'll move on now to an ACES radio staple, and that is man balls. I remind you, as always, it's a combination of man of the match and game balls, which as a definition is too long, as opposed to this explanation, which is perfectly formed. Greg, I go to you first, my friend. Your man balls of the week.
My first man ball is, that's a good point. I'm going to give my first man ball to Zach Steffen, who was just named the starting goalkeeper for Columbus Crew SC.
Yep.
Because he's going to need all the man balls he can get, for practice. If people throw man balls at him, he saves them, and
I think they'd be
That's
more
one of those
useful
distributes
in
them.
game.
One of those jokes you probably laugh about when you're home.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my second man ball of the week is going to Sydney FC striker Bobo, who scored twice in the 3-1 win over Melbourne City. Wellington is still sky blue. Morgan, back
Wonderful.
to you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 2 man balls, one of which is to Bobo again, who's
Yes.
a
He's gotten a lot.
traditionally large recipient of man balls here on ACES
He is
Radio.
a very large recipient.
International soccer celebrity Chris Doran.
Yeah.
I go to you next, my friend, your man balls of the week.
Man ball number 1 goes to the Cronali family for housing goalkeeper Zach Steffen in their home for the last 6 months.
Is that true?
Yeah, when he arrived back to the States after being signed by the Crew SC, he lived in the basement of former Maryland teammate Alex Cronali.
No shit.
Yeah. And man ball number 2 goes to Federico Higuain, who today at Media Day answered 2 questions in English,
Isn't that
which
incredible?
is a huge step for him, and I give him a ton of credit. It's enormous. It's a big step.
Morgan, do we have a clip of that?
We
that
sure do,
interview?
Greg.
Yeah. How did that interview go?
Nope, that's not the button.
What the fuck was that?
I am Pipa. One response is.
When is-
sound
he's
how it is?
Peruvian
sure that's-
I'm pretty sure he's Peruvian.
I thought he was Argentine.
Now he's Peruvian. This is how they sound.
all right.
Cocaine.
Proceed.
I am captain of the leadership committee. I'm in GCG.
Wow,
back.
his English got real good real fast. there.
President of
Jesus.
Murderers Row.
He improved during the answering that question.
Yeah, he gets real good.
Wow,
That guy's.
yeah.
I'll never not be fascinated by
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That's can confirm. I just feel like there was one night where he's like, enough of this shit. I speak English fluently now.
You know what? He's got that personality, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Where he's just sort of said,
Yeah,
You know.
you can say fuck on this.
you can.
Yep. Yep.
He takes those tight Eastern T-shirts off, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh God, that feels so much
Release
better."
the nipples, and the
Yes.
English will come, as they always say, Greg.
The English just spills forth.
You know, a lot of people are like, Morgan, how do I learn to speak English better? I'm like, take those nipples out.
Do you take the whole shirt off, or do you just kind of cut holes where the nipples are?
Listen, I'm not a cop, John. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but I go to you next for your man balls of the week, my friend.
Okay. I'm going to give my first man ball to Andy Lamborghini and Phil Goldfarb and anybody else responsible for the sponsorship deal with Acura.
Not JP Lococo.
No, definitely not him. I
guy's
specifically left him out.
Correct.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Yep.
He'll be winning enough MVP trophies, in the For Columbus Cup later, I figure.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need any extra.
Guy's
now.
a bruiser.
Yes, he's a lot better than Alex Steck, I will say that.
Alex Steck is the biggest disappointment of the For Columbus Cup. Agreed.
Nobody's let me down more than she has.
Yep.
My second man ball will go to 8-year-old Will Trapp, who is now the captain of our team.
Real shit. That's I like
Props, dude.
that. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
You're the captain of the team that you grew up cheering for.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Doesn't get much cooler than that,
pretty,
man.
That's pretty great.
And to be born in a city like Columbus, which has so many professional sports
Yeah,
franchises
right.
to choose from.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I do it at the Chill? Do I do it at the Owls? Do I go for the Rough Lads, the Ohio Glory, the Roughneckers?
So many options, Morgan. I don't know how he
Horizon.
chose.
Yeah.
The Horizon. Were
The
they a thing
Horizon?
back then?
Yeah. Jay Burson.
Yeah.
Chris Gent.
I guess.
Loved it.
Yes.
Columbus Quest back to back.
Columbus Magic.
Columbus Quest were the only champions of that league in the history. Katie Smith.
This is great. I don't remember any of these, probably because I wasn't born.
Are we still in?
I definitely wasn't in Columbus. That's
Is
for
this
sure.
still segment 1?
This is
Chris Doran echoes the sentiment of every Aces radio listener.
moving on. My first man ball of the week, now that I was reminded by celebrity fan Chris Doran, goes to none other than Gangster Crew Baby,
Oh yeah.
who's a member of the Crognale family. Is that how you
Cronale.
say it? Crognale?
Cronale.
Not-
Say it
No
again.
G.
No G.
Crognales?
Cronale.
Cronali.
Tennis.
Cronale.
Am I saying that right? Tennis?
No,
Tennis.
It's not tennis.
No.
Okay, Cronale.
Cronale.
There you
Okay,
go.
so Gangster Crew Baby,
Gangster Cronale.
Gangster Cronale Baby gets my first man ball. I love it. And like sometimes when I post pictures on Twitter of Gangster Crew Baby in various scenarios of Brock Lesnar, members of the Cronale family like it.
Oh, sure they do.
And I like them for that. My second man ball of the week, I'm going to switch it up this week, John. It goes to Andres Mendoza of Columbus Cruisers FC for being possibly the greatest player in franchise history. And that's it, Greg. That's
He's
segment
Peruvian,
one. It's
right?
over. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
It's fucking over. How was it, Chris? Did you like yourself?
Yeah, so far so good.
You like how you sound on that
Oh
microphone?
God, I feel great.
You make Channel 2 sound better than Channel 1 somehow.
Well, you're very kind.
Well,
That's
you're
not
on
true at all.
Channel 1, so.
Oh, you are. I didn't mean it that way.
It's a shame that we can't dive into the depths of those roastings, John. You've enjoyed the Doran-y of segment 1. I've got some great news for you, Pam. He's coming right back in segment 2. We're talking 2017 MLS, Golden Boots, Silver Shoes, Yellow Bitch, Columbus Crew.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Now we blasting off into the ozone. The way we kick it in the dojo is local for show. That we paving the road that's opposed to the dojo. Going over your head like a top hat. Stop that. I know you hear me spitting these hot raps. Now watch that beat, cause it's about to drop. The Rockets is the 09 jump off. Yeah, yo. Last name Pan, first name Peter. I know you see me playing and you want me to teach you, but I say elevated so that all God's creatures can hear me shout it out like my name is Aretha. Getting RESPECT. Fly by, see the looks on your faces. Cause I'm in full EFFECT. Jet setting on a daily basis. David F. Man, don't stop. David, won't stop. We can rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah. I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all the people in coach, yeah. And to my first class folks, yeah. We'll show you how to scrape the sky. Yeah. As the curvature of the earth takes shape, fly fast forward like a videotape and no cape. Just follow my jet stream, proud in the clouds on the boom in your precinct. I'll have no trampoline, black box in the pocket of my jet jeans. Shine with the stars so bright, even NYC sees me. Get that?
Yeah, bitches. Ignorant Sluts, Shit Lords, ZZ Boots, Wildman's Leather and Lace, Erica Kress, the dead rotting corpse of Kevin Burns, Foot Golf, Larry Turd, and all the other inside jokes you've come to love here at ACES Radio have now been referenced, John. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I'm very glad that we set up a page with those on them.
Love it, Greg. All the explanations can be found at acesradio.com/hot deals. Welcome back, everyone. Want to thank Chris Doran for joining us on segment 1. It's a rare treat indeed. Well, you're not unmuted. John, what if I told you I was going to go ahead and unmute Channel 2?
I wish you would.
Hey, Chris Doran's back, everyone. Hey.
So nice to be here.
Chris, thank you for joining us
This
again.
is the third time you said that.
Right on.
Is it really nice to join us, or are you blowing smoke?
No, man, it's great. I mean, I came over here for this. I had lunch with Dwight and Neil earlier today.
Oh, my gosh.
Dropping names, baby.
That was some name dropping, the likes of which have never been seen here on ACES Radio /Hot Deals. So
I didn't realize you knew Dwight Howard and Neil Young.
It's an interesting crew to get together for lunch.
Yeah, that sounds like a very interesting.
You are only making these dad jokes because Nate Beckman is within reaching distance, aren't you? They just
true.
high-fived. I saw it.
That's very true.
Some weird dad shit going
Like
on
some
right
across
there.
the room, like mental high five. Like
How is General Burgess and Strongsville's finest, Neil Sika?
He is. He's the 5-star general, 21 years, 22 years now with the club. Dwight Burgess is fantastic, has his hands in a lot of things, including a club over in Hilliard. And Wittenberg.
I just saw Greg.
What?
You just,
John and I.
What, does your son play there?
Yeah, he's got his hands in a lot of
unrelated to
things.
that.
John and I may have shared a look.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You
We were being immature little boys.
Yes, we were.
You can't say he's got his hands in a lot of things on ACES Radio without
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Where is Pam, by the way?
Oh, the studio audience fucking starting
Constant
laughing about
Burgess,
that.
apparently.
There's a preemptive laugh before the studio.
Wait, has
audience heard
Burgess
anything.
got a thing on the side with Pam now, too?
I mean, who doesn't?
I mean, I respect the shit out of the man. Possibly even more now. Put up with those clothes? Oh, my God. Oh, celebrity fan Todd Fichtenberg, ladies and gentlemen. Nope.
Oh,
you
hating
get-
all preseason.
Whoa, Jesus.
I don't believe in Todd Morgan. You know this.
Oh, love that joke. Speaking of Cruisers FC broadcasting shit, Chris, before we get into the 2017 MLS season at large, for those of you not aware, you're not returning for this season. I'd like to get your hot takes, my friend.
Thank
This
you,
is a
Johnny.
mistake.
Yeah. Well,
I'm still calling it Sack Lambo.
Zach Lambo.
Whoever
he's
was
never done
responsible
anything
for
good.
this.
He's never. What has Andy Loughnane done for
I don't know,
us?
just sack him.
Sack him. Get rid of that bastard. Bring back McCullers.
you know the
I'm pretty sure he's got another gig now.
it happens.
Sack him, too.
It happens with clubs every 1 or 2 years. They realign their TV arrangement, and they have room for this, or they don't have room for that. And this year, they don't have room for me. So it's not a problem. I leave the club with other than that, I leave the club with great admiration. They gave me a tremendous opportunity in the time that I was with them, and it is what it is.
How long were you with them?
Yeah.
Well, 2.5 years this time. 3.5 years, I beg your pardon. And then prior to that, I was with them for 2 years. This was back in the 2000s.
If you don't know what he's talking about, refer to ACES Radio episode something, where we talked about that. Greg, you were there. You should remember.
I was, but I don't remember.
11.
Fucking beer culture. Chris.
Yeah.
I want, on behalf of everybody in the Crewniverse, like literally, there's been no response other than this is garbage. Because everyone loves you.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. You're not only wonderful at what you do, but you find it easy to interact with the common man, which is big because you're a fucking international soccer celebrity. I mean, you're a big voice. You're a play-by-play guy. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Your repertoire is just
Thank you.
endless. And it is wide as it is deep, my friend.
Well, you're so kind.
Fantastic.
And you know how much I love you, and I love this whole ACES Radio effort. And the thing that I love most about the work that I've done in the last 2 years in particular is that it's put me out in front of everybody, and it's allowed me to, stand up, shake hands, and get to know people. And that's my calling. That's what I do. So I'm not holed up in a booth. I'm on the stage with the beer drinkers. I'm up on the deck with people waiting online for hot pretzels. And I flippin' love that. I've always loved that. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I am the common people. So that's why it's a perfect fit. But I do totally understand why the club had to make a financial decision. And whoever their vendors are had to make a financial decision, and they made it. And I respect that.
If I wanted more fucking Clay Hall in my life, I could just watch the goddamn news.
I'll tell you a very funny story. Last year, they had their new partnership with the over-the-air stations, and Clay Hall's name was dropped 2 or 3 times, but just his first name. And I mean this with no disrespect, but I was not privy to what was going on, that he was going to be the sideline reporter for 2 or 3 games through the season on those games where his station would carry the game OTA. And at the end of the conversation, with all these media people and the crew represented, they said, "Are there any questions?" And I said, "Yeah, who's Clay?"
Roasted. God, I don't know how he comes back.
Still wondering
He
to this
doesn't.
day.
He doesn't.
ABC 6, Fox 28. First, they get rid of Yolanda Harris. Bush League move.
Right.
Bullshit. Nate Beckman agrees with that. Then we're supposed to respect Clay Hall. I mean, come on. Who is this guy?
Well,
right? Clay?
from what
kind
I
of name is
understand,
that?
he's carrying the luggage of like 5 guys out there at his affiliate. So I completely respect him, but I had no idea who the man was. And when I met him, he's a delightful guy, and he's terrific on air.
Sure.
So I think he and whoever else is assigned to the role will be perfect. But I'm disappointed
I'm not
to
having
not be back though.
Anytime he comes on, I'm just going to play old Doran clips over him.
Oh, welcome to the show, Clay Hall.
This is International.
Oh, sorry, are we
Celebrity
playing this?
Chris Doran, and you're listening to ACES Radio.
Gotta apologize, Clay. That's the voice of a legend. Didn't know that was coming.
It's like the ex carving their name into the side of the new girlfriend's car.
What?
It's what?
What?
Sorry.
Nate, what?
Nate's
Hang
screaming
on.
something.
A halftime drop.
A halftime.
What's
drop.
that mean?
Oh, record a halftime drop.
We're a.
Oh, so I can just play their
Poor Nate. You know,
We're
Nate,
gonna edit
Nate
this
and I
out.
had beers at the Function Brewery out in Bloomington over this. Was it over the summer, or over the fall, when you and your buddies came out? In the fall. Nate and his buddies still get
He
together.
just showed up at your door and was like, let's
No,
go get hammered.
Thankfully, it was not at my door. I'm afraid, though, if I gave him my address, he and his 4 guys would have shown up. But they were delightful folks,
Yeah,
and we
sound
had a
like
lovely night. And
Yeah.
all right. Sorry, Morgan.
Well,
He's just jealous that he wasn't there. And
Yeah,
so,
no, it's
that's the only reason he
bullshit.
doesn't want to hear the story, because you guys are having fun without him. That's why,
I mean,
that's why he's being a brat right
I
now.
love going out in French Lick. Where do you live? French Lick?
No,
I love going
Bloomington.
out
Come on,
in
man.
West Baden. Sorry. I love going out
Oh, my
there.
God. Listen to you. Do you actually know that area?
I'm a Larry Bird fan. Of course I
Oh,
do.
my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
play it off
amazing.
as Larry Bird. He
They are
stalked
side
your
by- they're side-
Wikipedia.
Now
they are
who's name
side by
dropping?
side, those towns.
They sure are.
And you know the difference between one and the
I do,
other.
because there's a very expensive country club type thing in West Baden, and
Yes.
that's where everybody in French Lick works.
Right.
and then they go home to French
This
Lick.
is
That's
terrifying.
John and I
stalkerish.
just, John
What
and
is
I just
happening
shared
right
another
now?
look that was unlike the first look.
Man.
December 7th, 1956. That's what the day Larry Bird was born.
15th anniversary of Pearl Harbor.
Fan-fucking-tastic. It sure was, Greg. That's why they bombed us, because they were like, basketball
just
Jesus
like it
is
said,
about
like
to
a
be
standard
porn.
fact in the dad manual. You both
No, it's just
knew
December
that.
7. It's a day.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Anybody else got
Maybe
hot
she
takes?
Thanks,
spent-
public education.
Yeah, there you go. You can tell who grew it.
You know, Betsy DeVos can't make it worse.
Welcome back to the Inside Joke Factory. I'm your excellent host, Morgan Hughes. We go now to ourselves for a kind of a... So, John, here's the thing. Earlier this week on the subreddit known as The Massive, there was a thread that was titled, like, what's the worst part about being a Crew fan?
Okay.
Other than the top upvoted post, which was literally just my name. Which had like 27 points, which is a lot on that
Save the hot
subreddit,
takes for segment
right?
3, Morgan.
One of the hot takes was that the podcasts are fucking trash and they don't actually talk about soccer.
The podcasts, plural.
Yes. Your Red Cards in Helltown, your Massive Reports, your podcast for Columbus, your ACES Radio, which is more of a Bills podcast,
Your forecaster.
your Nate Forecaster, your Weather Reports with Alex Thomas, teaser for segment 3, your Chris Doran and Dwight Burgess Happy Fun Hour,
Yeah.
coming soon.
Right.
Right.
So what we want to do in this segment is pay homage to those
the people that hate us?
Yes.
I believe that name's trademarked, actually.
Yeah, well, I just paid $16.
Pay
to
respect.
Eric Press. Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about MLS in general, as opposed to usually when we're interviewing people in segment 2. We've already interviewed Chris Dorn. We know all about him. He's in the Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame. He has a sexual relationship with my girlfriend. You know, he's got a ton of good
God.
stuff.
I've wondered about that. What is that? Is that some sort of a fucking joke on your fucking Twitter feed?
Yes,
What
it
the
is.
fuck is
And
that?
I meant to ask you about this in segment 1. Are you just confused shitless on Twitter when people start tweeting
Yeah.
at you about Pam?
It fucking pisses me off because you motherfuckers don't.
Here we go.
You don't fucking put my fucking name and you know? So I go fucking crazy flipping through and seeing you motherfuckers using my name with the word Pam. And as much as I fucking don't know Pam, I'm sure she's a great lady.
Nope.
But I also see how she leaves her clothes around the house. And that fucking pisses me off, Morgan.
You hate it.
That's all I have to fucking say about that.
Okay, and thank you for joining us for ACES Radio, episode 30-something. Oh, Christ. I don't know how to make this stop. There it is. Doran, you have played your part very well tonight, my friend. Wow.
I'm done. I'm done.
Hope you're taking notes, Clay.
You know, I don't know how long you practiced that rant, and frankly, I don't care, because you delivered it so well that it was all the practice was worth it. Chris Doran, everyone.
Jesus.
You
that was
broke
good.
me. I'm done. I'm
Jesus.
broken.
Well, we can stop
Anything
with
we
those
do
jokes now.
after that is just going to be bad. Oh, Christ.
God, you thought Pam was aroused by him before.
Oh, dude. Can you
No,
imagine?
seriously, does she not pick up her clothes?
Oh, no, never. No, never. No, Chris, here's the thing about, like, not only does she not pick up her clothes, the reason I don't hate her for it is because she honestly doesn't even understand the concept of picking up
Yeah,
your clothes.
I know.
It's not that she's doing it to be mean or, like, she
No,
just doesn't
she's
care.
not.
She
No.
doesn't fucking understand
No.
it.
Right, I know.
It's like
I
speaking
know.
to someone in Swahili, and they're like,
know.
what? And then you start screaming Swahili louder.
Right. Oh, my God, I know.
And I just, yeah. I mean, you can relate. You've been there. You know.
I have...
Yeah.
Literally.
Tripping over all those
And I got-
piles of trash.
On his way quickly out the back door of your apartment.
You know, I think there's some part of that my wife loves about me, in that she knows that if I get out of my soccer stuff after coaching and I shower and, you know, get ready for bed, if I leave my sweatpants, socks, underwear, and training shirt attached to one another in the closet,
Yep.
she knows that I'm probably going to get into that the next day.
Ew.
I know.
Gross. Why would you do that?
Because I don't fucking care.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I got a drop for that. Yep, it's the same one. God damn, dude.
But, you know, some of the pictures I've seen of Pam's stuff is just like all over the place.
Oh, no, it's tragic.
Yeah, it looks like a storm blew through, but it's really not. It's just her getting undressed, which
She doesn't understand the concept of things going places.
Right.
Like, the most dangerous thing in our house, Chris, is our flat surfaces. Doesn't matter if it's a fucking floor or if it's dresser top.
Right.
She'll fill it with shit.
Wow.
We got to talk MLS.
Can I just say, before we do, that I absolutely love this unshackled, not officially employed by
Yes.
Columbus Crew SC, Chris Doran.
Yeah, or
It's
unemployed,
absolutely... No, it's...
Unemployed period really is.
I'll tell you what Doran is.
My old friend.
You're an honorary member of the
Rough lads.
My
I
friend.
like that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I gotta get him a rough lad scarf.
I feel like
we
that-
didn't yet.
Rough
There you go.
lads.
Yeah, that needed the bigger drop.
Yeah. Moving on to soccer talk, because I guess that's probably what we do here. Quick recap. What we're going to do on this segment is we're going to give you our predictions for a few different awards in MLS 2017, that being the Golden Boot, the Most Valuable Player, the U.S. Open Cup Champion, the Supporters' Shield Champion, the Participants in MLS Cup, and the MLS Cup Champion. Quickly, I will recap those titles in 2016. Your Golden Boot winner, John Clem's favorite player, Bradley Wright Phillips. As we know, he is a Metro Stars fan now that he has a girlfriend who suddenly became one recently. MVP, and tell me if I'm saying this right, John, David Villa.
Yep, that's correct.
Yep, David Villa, MVP, most valuable.
Up the Villa.
Yep.
If anything, you could enunciate the L's a little harder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, David Villa.
Yeah, there
David
you go.
Villa.
I feel like maybe I just eliminated the I. That's probably wrong. David Valhalla.
David Valhalla.
Okay, David Valhalla. U.S. Open Cup champion, none other than the Hunt Sports Group's own FC Dallas, a.k.a. the Dallas Burn. Supporter Shield, also won by the Dallas Burn. A close contestant, though, John Clem's Metro Stars of New York and New Jersey. MLS Cup final, of course, was Seattle at Toronto, and your Cup champions, 2016, none other than the 1974 Seattle Sounders. So, now that we've gagged and
Sorry, I
vomited,
just threw up in my mouth a little.
let's go around one at a time. Start with you, Greg. You're going to go first, then international
Yes.
soccer celebrity Chris Doran, then John, then myself, and we're going to make our predictions. Let's start with Golden Boot 2017.
Golden Boot.
Greg Benson.
I have no idea who's in the league now and who's out. It might.
Are you
very
doing
well-
no show prep at all?
That's the Aces radio way. Chris.
Oh, sorry.
If
Yeah.
you show prep, you do not belong here.
Yeah, you're relegated back to Massive Report.
Sweet Jesus. I didn't know they did show prep.
No, they don't do it there either.
I don't know how whoever's on that show comes back from that.
I have no idea either, but yeah, no. It might be Giovinco again. No, not again, but like for the first time.
Yeah.
He's still in the league, right?
Yep,
He's still with
absolutely.
Toronto.
Yeah.
He didn't go to China.
Yeah.
Okay. Him then.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seems like China's buying a lot of players lately.
Sebastian Giovinco
Yeah,
is
why
Greg's
not?
pick.
Sure.
Chris Doran.
Yeah, I'd love to see his teammate Josie Altidore actually perform, because that would mean that the U.S. national team would benefit from that. But I don't think that's going to happen. Josie Altidore is more of a poacher in the final third than
He is.
Sebastian Giovinco is, and I would actually lean towards Giovinco as a favorite for the Golden Boot Award.
All right, so you're also going Giovinco.
I sure am.
Okay. John Zadar.
We're just doing Golden Boot right now.
Yep.
I think it's got to be David Villa still. I mean, I know he's getting up there, but he doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, he was the MVP. but, yeah,
It
whatever.
it wasn't the Golden Boot. That was
Oh.
Bradley Wright Phillips.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden Boot. Andres
I
Mendoza.
asked you if we were doing Golden Boot, and you said yes.
Yeah, but David Villa was the MVP last year.
Yeah, I don't care. I didn't
Okay,
say
so
he
you're-
wasn't.
All right, we'll just in 3, 2,
I don't know why you're resetting.
Clap.
and welcome back to ACES Radio. John Zadar, we go to you now.
I have no idea why.
All right, so you're predicting David Villa for.
He's going to leave this
Golden
in.
Boot.
He always does.
yes,
That's not true. I edit stuff out all the
that's
time.
what I said.
Yeah.
I still don't understand.
All right,
I'm not repeating myself.
fantastic.
I'm literally have no idea what happened.
So Golden Boot, I think that it would be wrong to pick against Bradley Wright Phillips. He has proven the only thing he's really proven is that you can't fucking stop him, and he's going to score at will whenever he's on the field.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I'm going with Ola Kamara of Columbus Cruisers FC.
Oh!
Here we go.
Golden
that sets the
Boot
tone.
2017, closely followed by Andres Mendoza with 1 goal less. Greg Benson,
Yes.
we go to you now for your most valuable player of Major League Soccer.MajorLeagueSoccer.com.
My most valuable player. They're really big on that Jordan Morris guy, aren't they? They
And by
just
they,
put
you
him-
mean the
MLS.
marketing
yeah.
department of
They
it?
might just put
Okay.
him over.
All
It's
right.
like a WWE thing. Like, sure, why
Can we
not?
give him
I
the
just
Rookie
pick-
of the Year again?
Yes.
No?
Yeah, can we do that? Can we-
MVP.
They'll create a Sophomore of the Year award just for him. Sure, he wins MVP.
That's
Fuck it,
true.
I don't know.
So, Sophomore of the Year.
Yeah, Sophomore
Okay,
of the
all
Year.
right.
There you go.
Most valuable
That's
player.
replacing
Chris,
the MVP trophy this year. By the
That
way.
sounds about right.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris Doran,
Yeah,
your
I don't know.
thoughts?
I kind of lean away from Jordan Morris only because he is in such an isolated spot on the field. I don't think it matters. I think we're looking more at an attacking midfielder role to earn that spot. I would love for Federico Higuain to be of the form for 34 games to be qualified for at least a nod
Yeah.
for that award.
Most valuable people.
Exactly. And since you said it, that's my vote.
There you go.
Federico Higuain of Columbus Cruisers FC says Chris Doran, John Zadar.
I'm having a tough time picking. I think the top 3 candidates going into the season have to be Nicholas Ladero, Sebastian Giovinco, and Mauro Diaz. And I think really just whichever of those 3 stays healthiest for the most of the season will probably get it, simply because they're all 3 such high caliber players,
Yeah.
and they pull the strings for each of their teams. And
those 3 teams are very good.
yeah, and all 3 of those teams are great. So I think that it probably leans a little more towards Ladero and Giovinco, simply because Diaz has shown that he does get hurt for extended periods of time. So I guess if I had to pick one, I would probably say Giovinco.
I'm also going to say Giovinco. Let's be real. He's the second best player in league history behind Guillermo. Like, that guy just does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, against whomever he wants. Mm-hmm. And until somebody proves, other than Gaston Saro, that they can control him, I just don't see him slowing down. And if he stays on the field, like John said, if he's healthy, that dude's going to have...
Gaston Saro.
Right.
He is, I think, one of
Mr. Glass.
one of very few players in MLS that can literally single-handedly win a game.
Yeah, from
single-handedly.
From any angle, anywhere on the field.
I was just going to say, Morgan, isn't it interesting that your vote is not contingent on the health of the players around him?
Right.
That he can actually do it himself.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what kind of form he's had in Michael Bradley and Josie Altidore, which are 2 huge names.
Right.
You know, they don't need to do anything for him to score crazy goals at stupid angles. When you do, sometimes he doesn't even need the ball to do stupid shit.
Right.
Until somebody stops him, he's my MVP. U.S. Open Cup, as far as I'm concerned, the most important trophy in soccer in America, and that's just fucking it. And anybody that says differently, they can have fun on Master Report. Greg, your
I found that the last year, notwithstanding, because Dallas won both the Cup and the Supporters Shield, and everyone was talking about the treble, and then stuff happened.
any American,
and then Mauro Diaz got injured.
Yeah, pretty much.
any American that
Catastrophically.
uses the word treble is a fuckboy.
What about musicians?
So-
Back to you.
So you're all about no treble.
No,
Gotcha. Anyway,
all about Ace
What
of
would
Base.
you call it?
I don't really fucking have anything to call it, Chris. Jesus.
Well, you're poo-pooing the name, but you don't have a replacement?
No.
It's like a Republican.
oh,
Repeal and replace. Is that what you're
repeal and replace. I like it.
Repeal and sputter
It's
around.
great because my mind went there as well. I just couldn't think of how
I
to word
know.
it, and that's why you're the
I knew it
professional
would.
and I'm here.
I have a friend named Token Liberal. I'm sure he has a better joke than anything I could come up with.
No, I found that with last year notwithstanding, Open Cup typically, traditional at least, tends to be won by
Seattle.
teams that have, teams that in that particular season have absolutely no cup aspirations whatsoever, like MLS Cup aspirations.
Or at least the
Whatsoever.
finalists
Or-
sometimes feature someone like Philadelphia
That's, yeah.
or the old Sounders from 2009 through 1974, backwards in time.
So I'm going to go with San Jose randomly. Like, it's just,
Yeah,
to
that's
me, it's a
really-
random thing.
It really is. It's random.
U.S. Open Cup is such a crapshoot every year. You just,
There's
I neither know nor mostly care.
Yeah, but
most of the time,
there's a
but-
big plus here, and that is that the rosters have been expanded to 30 if you include a couple of more homegrown players. And so what I think happens for Crew SC as well as the rest of the MLS teams is they have more at stake here to compete for that trophy. And I would encourage the MLS teams, if I had the chance, to battle for that more wholeheartedly than they have in the past.
Amen.
I agree with Morgan. If it's not the most important, it's the second most important trophy in America for football fans.
Right after the Carolina Challenge Cup.
Exactly. And I think you've got to go after it. And I don't care if you're playing in front of 4,000 people at Toyota Park in Chicago on a Tuesday night. You got to fucking go after it.
Yeah, and actually that's in Bridgeview. So
or Bridgeview.
Yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, I agree.
And your prediction
yeah,
for
no.
winners
Sit
of
down,
U.S. Open
Schnarfus.
Cup? Yeah, Schnarfus, Jesus Christ.
Fucking brown nose here.
Chicago Fire.
Oh, yeah, what?
Yeah. Fuck it, man. They take it more seriously. They have
do.
to win something.
really
They do.
They have to win something, or their coach is going to get canned.
Now, see, okay. So you've been too close to Crew SC for the last few years. So you've seen Chicago knock us out of the U.S. Open Cup
Right.
enough that you think that they take it seriously. They don't. We
I-
just don't take it seriously.
We
at all.
don't. I know we don't.
We take
go
it
up there
less
with-
serious.
We went up there with 15 players one night.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And 3 of them were on the coaching staff.
Right. Exactly.
Berhalter suited
I
up
know.
as a sub.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
There
wearing
was-
shorts. I can come in at any time.
The Kalamazoo Kingdom played an Open Cup game one night, and their coach stepped on the field, and he played and scored the winning goal.
Are you serious? That really happened?
I'm not kidding. That really happened with a
Wow.
couple of IU guys on the field, so that they could get out of Michigan and move on to the next round.
That's incredible.
If that's what happens, put Josh Wolf in a fucking jersey
Oh,
and
God,
win the game.
You want it?
I
don't
love
get
this
names.
for story.
I don't get names
This is
on my
best for
jersey.
story.
But you want me to put a name on my jersey? Put Josh Wolf back on the goddamn
You
field.
got it. You
I'm
got it.
getting a Wolf jersey like that.
Wolf is young enough. First of all, he's DC United scum. How dare all of you?
Oh.
Scum's a strong word.
No, I mean, yeah. When you're not talking about Michigan, I agree. I feel like he could probably still play. John Zadar, your U.S. Open Cup champions.
I think I'm going to go... I'm just going to pick us because I agree with these guys. You never know who's going to do it. And I think if anybody, why not us? And
Why not?
I think it's criminal how little respect the tournament's shown, especially considering that it is a path to CCL.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, that is the easiest way to get into Champions League,
That's a
I
good
think.
point. That's a
100%
really
really
good point.
So,
Yeah.
Other than being a Canadian team.
yeah, well, yes,
yeah.
yeah. But so I would love for us to win it. And I think if anybody's got as much of a chance as anybody else, I may as well just pick us.
I would love to pick Columbus Cruisers FC. It would be fucking great. Like, honestly, you know how I feel about the U.S. Open Cup. I get very angry with the Crew front office and the Crew, the Crew coaching staff and ownership for not taking this tournament seriously. If you're not going to take it seriously, don't fucking play in it.
Right.
And for God's sakes, especially when we had an LH on the back of our jerseys, and I've probably ranted about this on our show a lot, but like,
Right.
if you're going to, come on.
Right, I'm
The
with
two
you.
worlds, they
Right.
must collide. So I'm going to pick Dallas just because they're the best team in the league and they're deep.
Yeah.
But maybe so it's going to be different this year, especially specifically from a Crew SC perspective, because now we're playing all the games at home, which leads me to believe that the studio
Finally,
audience
that's
probably
all I
thought
wanted
about
last
that.
year.
So we're playing at Mafre Stadium. That leads me to believe that Tony ACES probably has had enough of Scott Sedley bitching at him on Twitter, and he's finally ready to take the U.S. Open Cup seriously. I hope that we make it far in that tournament. I hope we don't lose to Chicago again. So I'm picking FC Dallas, keeping it in the Hunt Sports Group. Moving on. Supporter Shield, Greg Benson.
Yeah.
Hollywood Racist, Gregular 614. If you're at Hendok's Pub, you're sitting in his chair. Get out of that
Absolutely
chair.
are.
He needs somewhere to sit.
I do.
U.S. Open.
Actually, it's less sit and more sleep.
more like that. Yeah. Supporter Shield, back to you.
Supporter Shield, I'm going with Toronto FC. I think
Toronto
that
FC.
Wow.
what we've already covered about Giovinco and how he makes the team around him better, regardless of who's out there.
Uh-huh.
I think that their experience level as far as what last year's playoffs did, I think that's steeled them a bit, and I think that was what they needed to become the team that they're obviously built to be. That they've got the budget to be.
Yeah.
That they've got they've got the capital to be.
The league
So-
has demanded that they be relevant
well,
for their
absolutely.
entire existence.
I mean, it's
And
it's
it
a
finally
huge,
happened.
it's a huge market, and it's a huge TV thing,
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff.
Maybe they finally
at play. But And it's a huge ownership backing that they have because they've got the same ownership group that owns the Raptors and the Maple Leafs. And
the Maple Leafs have been very successful in the last 50 years. No, they've won nothing. That's right.
I cry myself to sleep a lot.
Roasted.
Yeah.
Other
Anyway.
than Mike Myers.
Yeah,
Your
no,
team is
there was that
nothing to
one
me.
movie with the
So I married an axe murderer.
Yeah, that one too.
Moving on.
Moving on.
I think L.A. in the West is going to be very strong.
Do you?
Yeah,
Really?
I do. Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure.
A lot of turnover there, Chris.
A lot of turnover. I know, but there are also some mainstays. There are some big stars that are going to figure into the equation. I agree. Toronto in the East makes a lot of sense, but I'm a huge fan of Jesse Marsh with the Red Bulls. They lose Dax McCarty, but I think that there is a coaching staff there that understands what it's going to take, and I would lean more toward the Red Bulls.
Why you fire picky? Why you fire picky?
Is that your best New Jersey accent?
It's one of the best, other than Greg Berhalter.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
I
New
know.
Jersey accents out there.
I'm a huge Jesse Marsh fan. He's got Dennis Hamlet and Chris Armas on his staff, and I love those guys from my time with the Chicago Fire. So I'm going with the Red Bulls.
Sorry, I threw up when you said.
Just start every sentence with "look," and you're halfway to Bob Bradley.
There you go. Boom, roasted.
Right.
John Zadar. So Chris Doran says Supporter Shield goes to the Metro Stars. Your thoughts,
Okay.
my friend?
I disagree. I think that Dallas and Toronto are the two front runners for me. Dallas is the youngest team in the league. There's not going to be a lot of drop off there. And I think Toronto has got to be probably the hungriest team in the league. I mean,
for sure.
we like to make jokes about Colorado and RSL wearing our stars.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, that MLS Cup was stolen
Yeah,
as far out from under somebody's nose as it literally could be. I mean, that was theirs as far as I'm concerned, and Seattle snagged it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'm scared of Toronto. I think they're just going to rip
Look
it
at
up.
you little pussy.
Yeah. It's fair. I'll take it. I'll take the
only
criticism.
a pussy scared of Canadians.
Love post Cruisers FC, Chris Doran, as always.
Do
Supporter
they
Shield.
still have any Canadians on the team? I guess
Who?
they do.
I don't know.
Will Johnson, maybe.
They have
Is he
to.
still
No,
there?
he's not there.
No, he's,
anymore,
he's
I don't
gone
believe.
now.
Yep, he's
They
gone.
have to. They have Jay Chapman.
Rick Nash.
Oh, yeah, they have to, don't they? Yeah. That's right. Because do Americans still count as internationals for them?
Yes. As of last
There was
year.
a point where that was the case. I don't know.
That I don't know, but they have to have Canadians on their team.
Yeah. So my Supporter Shield winner is the right answer, and that's FC Dallas. They are the best team in the league. Anybody that is going to win anything is going to have to take it from Frisco. That team is disgusting. They're young and good. They're only getting better. It is puts the fear of Lord Guillermo into me, as if it wasn't already there, Greg. I've welcomed into me before, John.
Giovinco is really the only reason that I went with them instead of Dallas, but
He's a guy that
there's
can just
something
do
to-
whatever, and I don't
right.
disagree with
and
you.
Mauro Diaz is not too dissimilar. And the thing about Dallas is that last year their problem was that when he was gone, they didn't have a replacement, and now they have Javier Morales, who is that, but 10 years older, and can step in and fill those shoes.
Yeah.
So
Are you guys attributing their success to the homegrown talent that they bring out of the academy?
I mean, certainly you
That's a
can't
big
say
part of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's 100%, but it's got to be in the 90s. I mean, like
Yeah.
I mean, they won 2 trophies last year, and they offloaded their second best player
Uh-huh.
Right.
with Castillo. So, I mean, I think that's pretty impressive.
That's a testament to how much depth you've got in the squad.
Yeah.
So
So do
you
when you
think
can
that-
afford to do that and still be successful.
You think the other clubs should be stealing some pages from that academy program?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that they would be 15 years behind the,
Even still.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they did it right, and they did it first, and they're reaping the benefits. And you know what? God damn it! Like, yeah, they lost their best player. So did we. They got stronger. We went into the
did
toilet.
not, Yeah.
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 Right.
And not to mention, like, you've got, given the Dallas area that they draw from, again, it's a huge talent pool of players that, everyone's fighting for a spot. So the guys that you do get, the guys that do make it, aren't just, oh, we found a kid that's actually pretty good from, one of the suburbs around here and we just put him over. It's, these guys worked for their spot.
What are you trying to say about Grove City, bro?
Yeah.
Nothing that hasn't already been said,
How
man.
dare you?
Is Nacogdoches, Texas pronounced Nacogdoches or
Nacogdoches.
Nachos?
Nate Beckman, your thoughts?
Naga,
Exactly.
not going to work here anymore.
Roasted.
Jeez.
I don't know how the Spanish language returns from that, Greg. That was fiery hot.
That was an Office Space reference.
We move on now to
that
MLS Cup participants. Of course, Seattle at Toronto in 2016. Gregulator 614.
Yes.
If you're in a chair, he needs to sit there. We go to you first.
Sure.
Your
Put a
prediction:
spin on it.
East versus West. Who is in the Cup and who is hosting?
I'm picking FC Dallas to finally get over the playoff hump and make it in, because they've had a couple of years where you feel like they should have made it, and whatever it was that conspired to keep them out. I think they finally get it done this year. Out of the East, goodness me. I'm gonna take a stab in the dark here and say Montreal. I think they're gonna pull a few upsets here this year.
What are we predicting right now?
MLS Cup
Cup.
participants.
I think Montreal goes to Frisco.
You're saying Montreal.
That's my prediction.
At FC Dallas.
Montreal at FC Dallas.
Fantastic. Chris Doran, your thoughts?
Yeah, Montreal was built for championships a couple of years ago. Klopas left. They maintained that status, did really well. But I would say that Montreal's days are numbered at this point. My preference in the East is still the Red Bulls. I think they've, they finished 2 years ago atop the East. They were not able to do well thanks to Crew SC's success, do well in the playoffs. I think they've learned their lessons since. They will end up traveling and meeting Dallas for the final. I really do. I agree with you that Dallas is a really strong team.
Yeah.
And I think Dallas has got the pedigree in the success that they've enjoyed to find their way to the final game.
So you're saying Metro Stars at Bern
That's what I'm saying.
in the final. Okay, John Zadar, your thoughts?
I am not changing it up much. I think Dallas will also host, and I think Toronto's going to be going there.
Terrible Football Club, who deserves butter, at Dallas Bern, MLS Cup 2017.
You put butter on a burn, actually.
It will feel a lot better.
So a lot of people are saying that.
Especially if you're trying to eat that burn.
Yep.
It's delicious.
Duck butter is I've heard is very good.
Preferred
for
butter.
Nobody knows how that works.
What do you got, Morgan?
I got
It's good for
Columbus
roast
Cruisers
related.
FC
Yeah.
coming out of nowhere, Chris.
Really?
No one expected these rough lads to be a participant in MLS Cup 2017. Let me tell you what. At Frisco against the Burn. That's what I'm saying.
Lamar's grandkids.
Yep. The Pioneer Cup final. That's what they'll call it. And it's a shame that I broke that Pioneer Cup twice. 2 separate times. Of course, the first time, and then the second time trying to fix the first time, which I don't know how the fuck I was going to do that, because it was broken, and I just brought silver polish. And started cleaning it, and then broke it even worse. Like welds came apart. I'm like, clean it with silver polish. That'll work. Yeah, nope, you dropped it. It's broken more now. Greg Benson.
Yes.
You've predicted your MLS Cup final.
Yes.
Tell us who will win said final, my friend.
I can't see Dallas not winning it.
All
If
right.
they host it, given the matchup that I said it was going to be.
Yep.
God, I hope we don't go to penalties again. Can we not do that? Can
We
we
as
just
a league?
agree?
Yeah.
How many games?
we-
how many big
can
games
we
went
as
to
a-
finals last year?
To penalties?
Penalties?
The only one that mattered.
A lot of them did.
I was going to say, didn't the Open Cup final? No.
No, there was
It
a
did.
playoff series.
The
Colorado and
the-
LA?
The NASL final went to penalties.
Yes, it did.
Colorado
in
and
the fall.
LA went to
Colorado
PKs.
and LA did
And
they?
didn't the Champions
Yeah.
League final go to penalties?
Champions
Yes.
League.
Yes.
I think it did.
Yeah, I think so.
So going to penalties,
Oh, yeah, that did. That happened while we were in Kansas City.
it's a
That's
tough
right.
way to lose a game.
Yeah. Some would argue that you didn't really lose the game.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
actually,
Right.
the score
Yeah.
sheet says you didn't.
Right, because it shows the score as like
Yeah, it shows the
1-1
draw.
or
Buckeyes,
0-0
yeah.
or whatever.
So, Greg, you're saying Dallas Burn?
I think Dallas Burn wins.
Champions.
And yeah, they win, but please don't do it on penalties.
Yeah, Clark Hunt. he
Those two
deserves
teams,
this.
there's no way.
Red Bulls
At least
win.
Dallas and Montreal, no.
Doesn't
Chris
if it doesn't end a draw, it's not 0-0.
Chris
no,
Doran,
it's definitely not serious. Like 3-3 or something.
Red Bulls win run of play. So not even.
Oh, I
overtime.
see. John Clem shaking his head. Would that upset you that your girlfriend is happy about her team winning the championship? That would make you upset? Ah, man, after
Buy
my
her
own
jersey.
heart. Yeah. Your girlfriend being happy, that's not your own
Usually you wait
happiness.
until you've broken up with someone before you start throwing shade at their teams.
No, dude. I root for Pam's failure all the time.
Oh my gosh.
All the time.
Oh my
Yesterday
maybe
she
if you
fell
didn't
down the
do
stairs.
that, she'd put the clothes away.
No,
Just a thought.
No, I've been to her apartment before we were dating.
So
Tragic.
the year that we played in the final and we lost to Portland,
Don't remember
What
that.
year was that? I don't
When
recall.
was
2
that?
years
I
ago.
don't think that happened.
we were staying at the Sheraton downtown.
Yep.
And my son is with me because my son played for Caleb Porter, the head coach of Portland.
Turncoat.
And-
Okay.
Angela's husband.
We're in the hotel lobby. Portland arrives with the cup.
Fuckers.
The team is coming off the bus. It's got beer in the cup. And my son Patrick, who's wearing nobody's team colors, asks to drink from the cup. And I have a picture
What?
of him drinking from the cup in the lobby of the hotel.
Wow.
Chris, you should not have told us that.
I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
I mean,
Yes, it is.
I'm surprised you still have a son.
Yeah. Are you saying your former son that you disowned?
Right.
That's
where I was going. I am.
I can give you
laughing
some
my-
tips on that.
when he's doing that, I'm taking pictures and I am laughing my ass off at the whole thing. He loves Caleb Porter. Caleb is a tremendous coach. I don't know what they've done for their team in the off season, but you know,
Well, they didn't make the playoffs last year, so it can't
No.
be that fucking good.
I know.
So you're saying who wins the MLS Cup final? Portland Timbers?
Red Bulls.
Red Bulls. All right. Metro Stars says Chris Doran. John Zeno, your thoughts?
I gotta stick with Toronto, who I've pretty much picked for everything else. I just think Giovinco's too strong. Just too strong.
Yep. A lot of people are saying he's one of the strongest.
Yeah.
I will say the correct answer, which is FC Dallas winning over Columbus Cruisers FC.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, just, they're better.
Can you survive that many heartbreaks in that many years?
Man, that's a good question.
Are you predicting your own death date right now?
Pretty much everyone in this room will be there. So tune in to find out.
If 2015 was the inspiration for ACES Radio, what fresh hell will you come up with in 2018
I
if
don't
the
know.
Crew make the playoffs and make the
I'll
cup
probably
final?
steal someone else's podcast. I think that's usually what happens. Roasted myself and also others. Chris Doran, I want to thank you for stopping by, my
Oh my
friend.
God! Thank you to all you guys, and Morgan, thank you especially for the invitation.
Dude, I'll say it again.
I feel like we were on your show tonight.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Come on.
You should
It
look
does
at
feel that way.
our unique downloads on your episode versus like episodes that feature like any of the four shitlords sitting out there. Nate Beckman, your John Clems, your lobster lawyers, your token liberals. Ain't nobody got time for them. People always have time for you, and I thank you for having time for us.
You guys are awesome. Have a great season, and I'll be following, of course, from across the border.
Answer this real quick, and then we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
Are you going to join us in the Nordeca at any point in the season?
There is a very large possibility that I will be, and it will start with the tailgate outside the stadium.
As it should.
Yeah.
Chris,
That's mega tailgate
Chris,
for
I
anybody
have-
that
I
was
have-
questioning which tailgate he was going to go to.
No, it's yours.
Roasted. I don't know how the defunct mini tailgate comes back from that, John.
Morgan,
Unbelievable.
there's one question you forgot to ask.
Yes, Greg, go ahead.
Well, Chris, how can AGS attack be stopped?
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
How can what?
So there's
That is the correct answer, yes.
Yes.
actually boom roasted.
You hear that, AGS? You are no.
AGS attack number 69 on the jersey, number last place in your hearts. Chris Doran, thank you as always for joining us. Now that was a Steve Bellisari joke that I didn't explain very well. Number 8 in the playbook, .50 in the DUI counter. Nate Beckman, you were alive
stop.
then. I say
Stop,
football
Morgan,
humor.
please.
Thank
For
you
the
to
good of
Chris
us all.
Doran for joining us. We will avenge you, my friend.
I'm looking forward to the third iteration of Chris Doran and Carissa.
This is
may
in his
not be
final
able to
form.
The New Hope. Now that the Burgess strikes back.
Oh my god.
Fucking nerds.
Now the return of the Doran.
The voyage home. This is Star Trek.
No,
thing?
this is God damn it, no.
Yeah.
No Star
The
Trek.
undiscovered country.
Star Wars.
First contact. Enough about Pam. If you've enjoyed segments 1 and 2, stick around. We've got your hot takes coming up on segment 3. What a rare treat it's been. We're coming right back. We're at Zauber Brewing Company, and you are listening to ACES Radio.
Hot, sicker than your average. Down like goose and I'm fly like Maverick. With a savage attack in a mouth like a mash. Spitting fuego, homie. It ain't tricking if it's magic illusions. Indubitably juvenile. My crew can do it and we do it well. Rock around the clock all across the nation. Got a lot of sky miles and a reputation of making earthquakes every time we land. Cause stopping in an option or a part of the plan. Fools Girls get to feel me while I'm running on jet fuel. Now pay close attention cause I'm ready to let you know what I'm all about, child. I got that style that you come to love. And I'ma stay fly till the day I die, spitting fresh to death from above. Get it, David F, man. You don't stop. David, you don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah, I'm an ace pilot. Yeah, I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all the people in coach, yeah, to my first class folks, yeah, we'll show you how to scrape the sky.
Very nice, John. Welcome.
You've
back.
had that in the chamber for several episodes,
That
and
was
you were just
literally
waiting.
the millisecond that I unmuted.
I know, that's why I did it. Yeah.
Oh, on behalf of Benevolent Corporate Overlord sponsors Blood and Urine and Zauber Brewing Company, want to thank Chris Doran, international soccer celebrity, for stopping by the program. A rare treat indeed.
Stopping by to see Pam before he takes off back to
I
Indiana.
can only
I reckon.
imagine that's where he is right now. Hashtag Bills Mafia. As always, Nate Beckman holding
Yes.
up the duck. Tremendous. Welcome to all 21 of you on Periscope. It is segment 3. You are wasting your time with ACES Radio. A rare treat indeed. John, what if I told you I was just going to go ahead and unmute channel 2?
I assume that there's some sort of shitlord taking over for Chris Doran.
Indeed. Want to welcome back to the program for the 8th time this evening, celebrity shitlord Nate Beckman. Nate Beckman.
I'm a rough lad, not a shitlord. Thank you very much.
Is that true? We're going to get on the fax machine and check that out just as soon as the app crashes and I get this back up. And
I got Darby Schnarfus to my
he's
left
a-
also. He can
Yeah.
rough lads
he wants to
indeed.
chime in here or there.
I gotta say this just straight away. Like, I enjoyed the shit out of post. You know, like
God.
I am really upset that Chris Doran
It's
is
still
not back.
hot in here from that.
It got hot in here, John, and it continues to be warm.
One can only imagine how hot Pam is then.
Overheated. Yeah,
Kind of like her pizzas.
indeed.
How long does it take to get from
Basically,
here back
we
to
know
your-
how Chris Doran talks dirty in bed now, so
Yeah, we sure do.
we've experienced
Yeah,
what Pam is.
a lot of motherfuckers is how. You know?
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour trip, I think, back to.
Yeah, he's going right now.
Actually,
I asked him.
I meant
He's a
back to your
monster.
apartment.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Well, that's about a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lifetime.
So
if
he's
you ask
probably
me.
there. He's probably there by now.
He's got a 20-minute drive, then a 45-minute drive probably, and then a 3-hour drive.
Not sure how I come back from that, John.
You don't, Morgan.
Greg,
Pam's
what if-
genitals are wondering the same thing.
Want to not welcome Walter the raccoon
What's up?
to the program.
Oh, hey, Walter.
Hey, how's it going?
No, I hate it.
Good. I saw you scurrying about in segment 2, beginning. I thought you were going to maybe chime in, but you didn't.
I like to save my moments.
That's fine. That's pretty good. That's smart.
Yeah.
How's
No,
it
yeah,
going,
it's,
Morgan?
it's really smart. Yeah, it's great. Everyone's going to laugh about that in a second. Nope, they hate it. The wing in my
The
head.
drop didn't even work.
You didn't push anything. You know that, right?
I'm just scrolling.
Morgan Hughes hasn't bothered to hit a fucking button.
Walter, what if I told you there was a cure for the scourge that is your entire existence?
What's that?
That's right, Walter. They say the only cure for the scourge that is your entire existence.
Rat poison.
Well, yeah, rat poison for sure. Does that check out, Nate?
Yes. Black man.
I could probably still metabolize.
Don't talk over the intro.
And now, an
I do
ACES
what I want.
Radio exclusive. The battle for the grand prize. Hot takes from the masses.
You're not gonna stop there. We got the grand prize.
Hot takes from Twitter.
He's heating up.
Hot takes
He's on fire.
from you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, Walter. No, you can't. Indeed.
I do what I want.
Fantastic. From user setting the table on Periscope, quote, is Pam drying her hair in the background? I don't know what that means.
Oh, the normally
the machine
the
that's going
normally
in the background.
immaculate audio from the Periscope
Oh, yeah.
is probably even more perfect tonight.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody here at Zauber Brewing Company for running the noise machine during the entirety of our podcast tonight. Christ Jesus. So right before we started recording, one of the guys was like, yeah, no, it's only going to be on for another 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes, he
That
said.
was literally 2 hours,
2 hours ago. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They even misspoken. It's going to turn off any second now.
We've
Yeah.
only got 2 segments in, so yeah, it's definitely been 2
Jeff
hours.
just came in and walked up onto the brewing second floor and like was fucking with a bunch of buttons, and it continues. So this is great.
I was hoping he was going to turn it off, but he didn't.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on, shitlords, to the subreddit known as the Massive, John, I remind you as always that these hot takes are organized automatically by their level of fiery fucking hotness. Your thoughts?
Yes, we have no choice but to trust you.
Yep, well, it's organized automatically by their fiery hotness.
That's what we call a mistake.
Can somebody run out to the parking lot and see if Doran's still here? He can double check Morgan's work.
He is a true pro. He probably would find error somewhere.
He probably would have caught that we weren't recording that segment 3, not 2 minutes into it rather than an
That's
hour.
actually a fair question. Are we recording right now?
I don't think anybody even remembers that, Nate. Let's check. Yep,
Yeah,
we
least
sure
of
are.
all you. Yeah, okay, good.
You know we're going to ask that at the beginning of every segment 3 from now on, right?
Is that true, John? I feel like you won't remember it.
I feel like
Like
a lot
the
of
way
people...
that you didn't remember to record segment 3?
There you go. I remember how hilarious that segment was, and I wish that everyone else had heard it.
It was honestly wonderful. Everybody
best.
that was here right now, Clem, Token Liberal, Nate Beckman, everyone was here. We were having a jolly kick around, John, as they say in the old country of Europe.
Yes?
And, yeah, anybody got time for that? Moving on to the Massive, John, the highest upvoted comment this week comes from none other than the continuing champion, his or herself, Buttle Surfer. That's right, John, with 19, is that 18? 18 points.
18?
Yeah, and this looks like a Night Before Christmas poem, so Jesus Christ, I hope I read this correctly. Quote,
You won't.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, when in the tap room, not a creature was stirring, save Walter the raccoon.
Like the shout out.
The banners were hung in the Nordeca with care, in hopes that the rough lads and ladettes would soon be there.
You're welcome.
Derek Hughes was nestled all snug in his pit."
Oh, someone's been reading the comics.
"With dreams of dad's love and sweet peepa chips. And I in my jersey and fan design scarf had arrived at the mega tailgate to drink till I barf. When out by Stank Lake, there arose such a splatter. But it's just John Zadar with some PFG batter.
Ew.
Gross. I fled mini tailgate with a burning desire to get to the Nordeck to piss on the fire. Once in my fray, I'm still swilling craft beers in hopes Lord Guillermo soon would appear. On Ola and Pipa, on Ethan and Nace, on Awful, Reatala, Mensa, and Trap.
Oh, that doesn't rhyme.
Don't really have too many rhyming options in Crew SC roster.
On Miriam, Zach Steffen, Mohammed Abu, we're glad that you lads are part of our crew. Now the match is all over, they've turned out the lights. We all head to B-Dubs for a big post-match fight. I stand in the lot while surveying the blight and say Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, end quote. Fan-fucking-tastic. Greg Benson, your thoughts?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like the shout out to Walter.
Wonderful. Everyone hated that part. John Zadar, I noticed that you've gone from taking notes on your new
I
iPad.
forgot my iPad today. So we're going analog. I got pen and paper here.
Wonderful. What'd you write down there?
Bottle server.
Good?
How is that spelled?
Not how you think
Not
it
how you
is,
think
mate.
it is.
That's my line.
I'm really impressed, despite the trap thing.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
A lot of people are saying that ruined it.
I mean, I'm considering not giving a point because of it, but it's going to depend on the other hot takes.
I'm considering taking away points that he hasn't even had.
I don't even-
Or he or she.
Okay.
Because we don't know who he is.
Or she.
Yeah,
Moving
we
on.
definitely weren't here and handing him his prizes.
No, definitely not. He
I got a
definitely.
question. That made me think, why does B-Dubs not have a downtown location?
Well, I'll be there all day
Probably because they're trash.
in case you want to fight.
Yeah. You
Moving
heard what
on.
I said.
Same reason there isn't a
wrong.
Walmart downtown.
From across the street.
From user Lord of the Shits with 10 points, quote, all the talk last week about leaked jerseys got me to thinking I should release the leaked Google search history I stumbled across from Morgan Hughes.
Oh, wait, who is this?
This is Lord of the Shits.
Oh, I'm going to write his name
Yeah,
down
you might
right
want to
now,
write that one
actually.
down.
He found this via hansyboytifo@gmail.shopify.com. I don't even know what that means. And here are the search results.
Is that a real working link?
Fuck no. Gmail.shop.
It's about to be, though.
Have you clicked it to check? Maybe he went really deep here and set up a website.
If it was my Shopify, then I'd click it. But no, ain't nobody got time for non-rough lads. First result. Can I claim a child on my taxes if I've disowned them? Extermination services that handle inanimate raccoons. How do you pronounce Wikipedia? Crew Cat fan fiction short stories. Is Walt Disney real? How to play basketball like Larry Bird. Long-term effects of continuing to use vagina wash. Are casters really just wheels? No.
No, they're not.
No. Wheels
they're not.
are we? Okay.
Stop. You're ruining the hot take.
Yeah, Darby. Guillermo Worship Center's near me. Picture of Brock Lesnar in new crew jersey while in an Acura that is also insured by Mafre. How to find a girl under 30 that makes great pizza. Places in Columbus to hide banners I don't own. Roasted. Stats showing boys versus girls names. Or boys versus girls named Morgan. How to understand people who speak Australian after coming back from a trip there. Boom! Roasted!
It's fair.
ACES Radio, episode 30, segment 3 recording. And finally, how to delete my account. End quote.
We've got an early winner.
Nate Beckman, your thoughts.
+1.
Studio audience hates it. John Zadar.
+1.
Yeah.
I mean,
+1.
Are we on Fark now? Is that what this is?
Oh, roasted, old man.
I miss Bark.
I don't know what
I
the
knew
fuck
he'd say
Fark
Is this still running?
I think it is. I still get emails from them periodically, so I would assume so.
This little goofy news aggregator before fake news became great. I don't know.
Sweet Jesus, moving on from user setting the table with 8 points. Quote,
That's a great explanation, Nate.
will all these new supporters groups this season like GCG bag the upper deckers? Those of us who don't live in Columbus but still love our crew should have representation, even though we can't travel to games on a regular basis. I'm proud to announce the formation of a new supporters group, the Division of Unseen Crew Helper Elite Boys and Girls, also known by our catchy acronym, douchebag. This group should not be confused with GCG Bag or similarly named new supporters groups such as Perfectly Formed, Chani Exertion Alliance Boys and Girls, known by their acronym, T-Bag. Now, we douchebags may not always be in Columbus alongside our fellow supporters, but rest assured, whether at tailgates, inside the stadium, or watching games from home, there will always be plenty of douchebags supporting the crew. Hashtag up the douches. End quote. Fan-fucking-tastic. Greg, your thoughts?
That's bordering on Otaki there, unfortunately.
It's perfect. That's
really
great.
Is.
Douchebag and teabag from GCG bags alike. Nate Beckman, your thoughts?
A lot of baggery.
That's why you're not on the show.
Man. Yeah. Boom. Roasted.
John Stark.
Alert. Nate
I
Beckman has
defer
entered
to
the game.
resident douchebag fake John Zadar.
Darby Schnarf is your thoughts.
I'm a huge fan of the up the douches hashtag.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty
that
good.
needs to catch on.
Dave Hageman at Hageman77 on Twitter is not going to like that.
Yeah.
Is there
Tamaki.
an S on the end of that or
It's a Z.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I thought.
I mean, it's got to be a Z.
Or
up
but
the
yeah,
douches.
no, that needs to be the new hashtag.
Or
up the douches.
Z
Love it.
or Z, depending on where you're from.
For ZZ Boots, Wild Man's Leather, and Lacing.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on from user Big Whiskey Ed, a.k.a. Dave Edinger, who will be staying in my guest room this weekend with 6 points. Quote, long-suffering, lifetime Seattle fans finally ended their long, difficult 8-year MLS Cup drought last season. But we ended their Carolina Challenge Cup hopes last week. Suck it, losers. End quote. Yep. Fuck Seattle. John, sorry, your thoughts.
Hotake.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's out there.
I go to resident expert Greg Benson.
That's a fair point. I mean, no, I think the suck it losers took it to the next level.
Sure did. A lot of people are saying that was the only good part.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on from user and continuing champion Phil Golfart with 5 points. Jesus Christ.
Just
this is
going to
long.
write that down now.
Holy, quote, holy fuck shit, you guys. I did it. Remember last week when Yvonne and TJ hot-rapped about how I lost my job? Well, that was true. But instead of moping like a bitch who sits on the field playing with my ding-ding for 35 minutes after losing MLS Cup at home,
Oh, shit, that's a Kyburn.
I figured out a way to win my job back, secure the dopest shirt sponsor in MLS history, before some jackwagon like JP LaCocaine Nailed down Kahiki. Oh, Christ.
Wow.
While I don't want to go... Oh, God. Okay. While I don't want to go into exactly how it all went down, let's just say that, one, I had no dignity to start with, which is one of my key assets, and two, PGF doesn't have PFGs, sad face. Oh, God. Nevertheless, I'm back on the payroll and ready to start 2017 off with on fire with lots of great Acura promotions. Here's a sneak peek at a few things you'll see this season. One, all Acuras park free of charge at Crew games this year since parking prices are being raised to $1,400 a game. It's almost cheaper to just buy one if you don't want to own one already. If you don't own... Okay, I fucked that up. It's almost cheaper to just buy one if you don't already drive precision-crafted performance. Wonderful, Morgan.
God.
2, all Crew SE players will conform to Acura's model naming conventions, appending an X to each name. This paves the way for such rad names as Pipix, Trapix, and Williams. It really works well for Nico Naix, whose name basically is an SX, which is Acura's sick-ass exotic sports car. But my favorite is Dilly Ducax, because if you read it wrong, it kind of sounds like you're saying Dilly Ducox. Can you imagine having two cocks? I can. And finally, the Circle of Honor will be renamed Crew Legends presented by Acura. In a nod to the long-running Acura sedan, Crew SC will slightly change the name of their highest honorarium. This will also be a more accurate name for a program that the front office has forgotten about and only has 2 members. I mean, by definition, a circle cannot be made from 2 points. It's fucking science. The thing's a joke without Lord Guillermo anyway. Okay, enough beans spilled for now. Eat my shit, Lord of the Shits. Signed, Philly G. Hashtag first place in the chase. Hashtag precision craft beer performance.
Ooh.
End quote. Sweet mother of
There's
God.
nothing
That
and no
last
one
line.
he didn't touch on or roast.
That
Jesus.
last line saved it.
Really, really hot take.
Saved it?
Saved it.
Greg Benson, your thoughts?
I struggled to keep up with the Acura X names. I don't know about all that, but yeah, no,
It was
this-
a long one.
Finish with a flourish, Phil. I'm impressed.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on, from user the Crew Pat with 6 points. Quote, 2017 ACES radio predictions. 1. Lobster Lawyer will still use hashtag We March 4th well into August. Roasted. He's already gone.
Boiled, actually.
Lobster. Oiled.
Ah,
Boom,
nice.
oiled.
I like that.
Number 2, John will be bored to death, actual death, by the length of all the hot takes. 3, Greg's Australian accent will get stronger and stronger until he starts to sound like Shrek.
Fucking oath.
Some are saying that's the most aggressive Australian accent is an Indian-British accent.
I guess. I don't know.
4, Chris Doran will be granted custody of Derek. And will move in with Pam so that Derek's biological father can pursue his dream of making YouTube videos of him shooting basketballs in a warehouse. End quote. Oh, how dare you? Oh, John, sorry, your thoughts.
God, that was
Crew Pat.
funny and kind of too scarily real.
I mean,
I'm dying right now because this is too long.
Well,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
moving on from AGS attack. Wait, what?
What?
AGS attack with 4
Is this the
points.
last one?
No.
Positive points.
This is like the 4th hot take. Jesus. Okay.
Positive points?
From AGS Attack, quote, "Hi all, my name is user AGS Attack and I'm a crewaholic. It being Christmas Eve, I feel like I need to make amends for the following. 1, spending 3 figures on a custom P jersey with AGS Attack number 69 on it. That's fucking
He
true.
really buy that?
He did.
He really
I can't
did.
wait.
Is he going to be here this weekend?
I hope so. Sweet Jesus, I hope. Number 2.
He'll be easy to spot.
Yeah. Sincerely regretting that none of the times I've been arrested have anything to do with the crew. Okay. Number 3, regularly being broken up with for shouting, "Oh God, oh sweet Frankie Haydock," while lovemaking, a.k.a. having sex, a.k.a. doing the Jeff Cunningham.
I like how last week announced he didn't have friends, but now he's pretending like he has sex with people.
And he's been broken
And
up
he's
with
been
multiple
broken up
times.
with multiple, like enough sex to have been broken up with.
Shenanigans declared. And finally,
Neither his left nor his right hand will jerk him off now.
Boom. Roasted.
not sure how it comes back from that, John. Finally, listening to this stupid-ass podcast and liking it. Well, sort of. And yes, the lack of dash between stupid and ass is to keep it deliberately vague. Also, don't forget this, and then there's a fucking link to
Joke's
the
on
AGS
you.
attack.
This is an ass podcast.
And there's a link to the hot take anthem, which I don't need to click because I have it somewhere.
Oh.
There it is.
I was unwittingly whistling this at work today. Someone walked by and was like, "What are you whistling?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was just like absentmindedly whistling, and so I kept whistling, and then I was like, "Motherfucker!"
Best hot takes, y'all motherfuckers best watch out because he's got the hot takes.
Why do you know all the words?
You are just haters and you're just jealous.
How many times do you listen to this?
Enough to remember it. That was
That's
really
what he turns on to try to seduce Pam.
I'll just edit that out in 3, 2, 1. Moving on from user JMHGN.
Did you fart into the mic there, Mara?
Jim, with 3 points. Quote, his name is Archer, not Arthur. End quote. Yeah,
Who called him Arthur?
it's a hot take. Who's Nate Beckman, your thoughts?
Archer? The
Oh,
sweet
Archer?
Brazilian kid?
Hotake.
Hotake?
Oh.
I feel like you're just saying that word because you've heard it on the show and you don't know what it means.
I just want to hear Greg say it.
I don't know. Were there?
No, it was true.
Oh,
I know what Arthur is, the cartoon?
yes. I haven't done that voice this year. So
Or are you referencing something else,
No,
Darby?
I have. There's
Yeah, I thought you were
What-
talking about Archer the cartoon. Like,
there are 7 conversations
No, I'm
going
pretty
on
sure-
right now. Let's do one.
that's all right. None of them involve you.
Were
though,
people
so
making Arthur the cartoon jokes, or were they making Arthur the movie jokes?
Arthur the movie jokes.
Okay. The recently remade by Russell Brand, that would be a time period that you're familiar with. Us old people, there was an 80s movie called Arthur, you see.
Dudley
Look it up
Moore.
on Wikipedia.
Dudley Moore.
They spelled W-E-E. Do you have to put the WWW before the W-E-E?
That's how old I am. I had a brain fade and didn't even remember.
Greg's going senile.
Greg's getting the long one. Moving on from user hired ballerina.
Be the
John,
most action
not
I've had in a
spelled
couple of weeks.
How you think it is with 2 points. Quote, much like Vivian Banks on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah? Yeah? All right.
He's like, all right, now we're back in my time period.
Yeah. Much like Vivian
get that
Banks on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Matt Goshert mysteriously vanished and was replaced unexplainably after much searching on the Wikipedias. Very funny.
Glad to see that make a comeback.
Yeah.
I can only assume he'll show up on ACES Radio. Also, great move last week getting Duncan Otten on the show to host since Greg was deported. Roasted. I can foresee points in your future. Merry Christmas, shitlords. May Lord Guillermo impregnate the females of legal consent in your homes tonight so that the Columbus crew of 2035 goes undefeated.
Who was that
Quote.
from?
That is from Hired Ballerina.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. However, is Goshert going to host the show?
God, it can't be a step down, though. Can it? I mean, it'd be a lateral move at worst.
God, you guys thought this was not funny before.
Oh, roasted. I don't know how Goshert comes back from that. He
Well,
probably
he's
doesn't.
not here,
because he's
so-
not on anything. Moving on. From user Ann Hummerwalt.
What?
Yep.
That can't be right.
Yeah.
You have to have fucked that up.
No, it's,
Before you
it's
go
Ann
on,
Hummerwalt.
can you just like don't read it now, but can you read sort of down the list and tell me if there's a hot take from Hug Me Shaven Organ?
Hug me. Oh!
Oh,
Hey! And the noise machine has been turned off here at the lovely Zauber Brewing Company.
Yeah, midway through segment 3. Thanks for getting onto that.
Come on by, people. Stop by, get your eardrums blown out, and have a vertigo.
No, because we were talking about this off the air, Morgan, before we started, and that.
We're talking
I
about
feel-
shaven organs off the air.
Yes, absolutely. No, we were talking
if
about
we should hug them or
specifically the username Hug Me Shaven Organ.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that.
That I feel like it would have been better if you'd swapped around the first 2 words.
Oh, I'm
What
sorry,
in
Greg.
God's hell was that?
I don't know what that was. That was a door bang. I feel like it'd be better if you swapped around the first 2 words, because then it becomes something you can say like a caveman. Me hug shaven organ.
Ew.
Right, but it sounds like an instruction at that point.
Why is that playing? Christ
Why?
Jesus.
What are you doing?
Moving the fuck on from
Jesus.
N. Hummerwalt with 1 point. Quote,
He's already there.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, you may know me as the guy who wears Euro jerseys in the Nordic. From what I heard
gonna have
last
to be
week-
just the one guy. Yeah, okay.
You're going to have to narrow that down a lot more.
Isn't that the twin band? Remember those kids? The two twins?
the
that were in
twins
band?
aren't they like?
the two twins as opposed to
They
the
thought
four
they were-
twins?
That's right, Greg.
No, it's supposed the one twin.
They're in a band, and they... anyway, moving on. From what I heard last season in the first episode of this season, all I have to do is post a Mad Lib as a hot take. But that's indolent. I don't know what that word means. Speaking of laziness, do you all
Those
remember...
stupid pop stars are smarter than you.
Do you all
Maybe you
remember
should
the
find-
days
maybe
when
you should get him a dictionary.
the land shark would just like everything and didn't have anything to say? Yeah, I ruminate about those days. It took but one episode this season for fake John Zadar to devastate the podcast. I was on tenterhooks the more time would expire before that happened. And on the other side of the aisle, that lobster lawyer you had on twice to talk about the same thing, he should change his name to @token_alt-right. Oh, Christ. Ouch. Hashtag Sunshine Brigade, more like hashtag Fuhrer Escort Brigade.
Oh my fucking hell!
is happening right
up
now?
a notch.
This person isn't trying to be funny; he's just being mean.
Okay. He is clearly anti-left wing because that's what he's been watching, bro. Ah, yeah, that's a Miriam joke.
Good.
Okay, it's coming back around. All right. And Morgan Derrick's daddy banner stealing, camera hogging, sausage fingers, front office lackey Hughes.
All of true.
Hey, got all my middle names. That's pretty impressive. I know that reading is a challenge if the words have more than 4 letters, so come see me about a gift subscription to hookedonphonics.com. That's an age joke. Joke's on you and Hummer Walt. There was no fucking internet back then. You had to call the number.
It's
shitlord.
hooked on phonics.myshopify.com.
All you're
right.
doing is really making yourself seem older than the joke did.
much, yeah.
I was going to start talking about some of the players, their foie gras butter celebrations after winning the coveted Carolina Challenge Cup and the upcoming season opener, but we all know this isn't a soccer or crew podcast, so why bother? Erica Kress, just debit $16 from my account. End quote.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Jarvis Schnarfus, your thoughts?
I appreciate the effort. It's time to get some fresh blood in. We need new voices, new opinions. Even if this guy clearly bought a thesaurus yesterday to be able to, to compose this particular. I appreciate the effort.
Maybe he
You
bought it
know,
on hookedonphonics.com.
we're only going to be able to do Mad Libs for so long, so it's good to get some new voices in there.
Recent science has concluded you're wrong.
It's really
They're only getting better.
really interesting to hear token liberals say, "Give this guy a chance."
Nice. Well played,
Thank
though.
you.
I like that one.
Moving the fuck on from user Calvo with 2 points. Quote, I think there's a pretty decent chance that this crew team could make a playoff run. We didn't really add any huge names anywhere, but if our midfield and back line are solid and consistent, we might have a pretty good year. I remember reading last year some crazy stat like we were in the lead for the first 70 minutes or so in some large amount of games and ended up losing or drawing almost all of them. If we cut that shit out, we'll be a force. And
Gosh.
quote.
I remember reading just now that you don't understand how hot takes work.
That's actually a hot take, though, for real. Like, that's just like...
Is it really?
I mean, it's a real hot take.
That was like an
celebrate.
that was like
Did you accidentally post at the wrong podcast?
Okay, that's in a loop.
Why is it?
Hell, Morgan.
Damn it, Morgan!
I can't turn it up.
Just
Nope.
close the app.
Come over there and go to town on your money and on your ass.
That's also what Doran said.
All right, Nate Beckman's here, so that drop played.
Thank you, ladies, man.
Moving on from user Mike Hudson Sucks with 2 points. A lot of 2-pointers here tonight, John.
Maybe we don't read them all.
Quote, this comment will serve as the excuse for me to use the word Blackura in a sentence. If you haven't heard, that's the community, one guy in the Nordic Facebook group, name for the new black kit. Okay. Countdown to Greg losing his accent again. Countdown to me being sad and missing it. Countdown to me coming to my senses and saying, fuck you, Greg, I like you better without it. Countdown to me apologizing to the official Twitter account of Walter the Raccoon because Greg is off the fax machine. He may not even be alive at the moment. Until he's back on the fax machine, he's Schrodinger's marsupial. Literally nobody can prove anything without the fax machine. End quote. What the goddamn fuck did that mean?
I don't know, but it was fucking genius. I loved it.
Greg Penson, your thoughts?
Who was that from?
That is from Mike Hudson Sucks.
Yeah, you're
that
getting a
explains
point.
it. There it is. He's a Cincinnati shitlord. He's drunk.
Well,
He's
I
been
got to
drinking chili.
I've got to. I've got to throw something to the Cincinnati people every so often.
John Clem's having diarrhea. He just ran out of the room.
Usually a stick.
Are they gurgling?
got time for that.
Sure is, John.
Gross.
Oh, the app quit. I was going to play the fart button. It was going to be really funny.
Oh man.
Using on. Jesus. Moving on from user.
Using on from mover.
Yeah. Hug me, shaven organ.
There
Welcome
he
back.
is.
hug shaven organ.
This can't be great though. This is low down.
Hug me, shaven organ has this to say, John. Quote, hug these preseason power rankings of things people are complaining about. What? Starting with the number one, item first because that's exactly how these lists work, Darby. Okay.
That makes you the worst.
Number one, Captain Will Trapp. The news is still warm from the internet presses, but the takes have never been hotter. How's his English, by the way? Number two.
I get it, because if you're going to pick a captain, they got to speak English. It's reference to it. Somebody actually listens to a lot of this show.
Yeah, people probably laugh about that later. Number two, Carolina Challenge Cup, the ultimate. Everybody gets a trophy. Preseason tournament, right? You mean only one team won it, and it was us? And that's a bad thing. Our owner declared his intent to win additional trophies? It's sounding like he would have been better to lose the CCC. Lesson learned. I think that's a Sedley roast.
It is.
Yeah.
Because Sedley was bitching about that.
Yeah, respect. Number three, Columbus Crew SC. SC, damn it. We learned that Erica Kress have stepped up her fine and expanded league-wide. Those national broadcasters better watch out, because $16 fines add up quick. Number four, crew jerseys are number one, which is exactly why this is the last in the power rankings. Why should we care that the majority of humans with functioning eyesight think our kits are great? Why should we be excited about anything? End quote. I feel like that was a Graham Randall roast. And he also referenced you, Darby, so why don't you give your thoughts of this? That was a Hug Me Shaven Organ.
I appreciate any list that starts with number one, because what kind of asshole starts with the thing you care least about? Get to the meat of things.
No,
So,
no.
Yeah, no.
Power rankings need to
anything
start
else
with the
is
worst.
clickbait. It's garbage.
Of course it's clickbait.
Tell me what I need to care about, because
Power
like
rankings
John,
are
I'm going to
inherently
fall
clickbait.
I'm going to fall asleep halfway through your list anyway, so get to the good stuff.
Well, you're old and tired.
Thank you.
You probably
I couldn't get the mic back fast enough.
Come on, Grandpa. I need the mic back.
Oh, Jesus. Moving on from user Pippa Nips. Pippa Nips with 1 point. Quote, since Morgan has trouble actually reading my hot takes, I will post the rest of this in all caps to ensure she sees it. Morgan is a girl's name. With all of the talk of capos coming to the Nordeca, one burning question remains. How effective will Tony Galifo be as a capo after he starts aggressively threatening people who don't participate correctly on the internet only? And take and quote.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
Nate Beckman, your thoughts. Jesus.
What? Morgan, your thoughts.
Nate Beckman, your thoughts.
Tony actually donated to the fundraiser. So thanks, Tony. That's my thought.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
I don't. Is it really happening? We were actually gonna have capo.
I'd give you a thumbs up.
I saw a piece of tape, and I saw something written, and I thought, well,
Yeah,
it
that
could
was
be
from the
totally
USA.
It was
fake.
left over from 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So
I feel like maybe people think that I'm like like the leader of the anti-capo movement. While that may be true, I will say this.
a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, is that what they're saying? Okay.
Word on the streets that.
I'll say this. If somebody in Cruisers fandom wants to be a capo, just do it. I'll probably help you do it.
We kind of have two shitty ones now.
Yeah. Homeless Andy Hubbard.
Yeah.
And you.
Jean Jacket John.
Oh, yeah, John Lavelle as well.
Yeah.
No, if you want to like get with the front office and build capo stands, dude, I'll probably help you do that. I'm not going to be a capo.
You'll put them on casters.
Yeah.
And then they'll fall
Lockable
over.
It's a
casters.
good way to just. Oh, they rolled down to the south end. How unfortunate.
Yep.
That's okay. Nobody hears them down there anyway.
They rolled into that open grave with Kevin
It's hard
Burns'
to when the
body
whole
in it.
the section's empty.
Yeah. No, the key
See,
point.
I took it to a certain level, and then you took it there.
Yeah, I saw your level.
The key point is, if you want to do something,
Sorry, I should zip up.
you know, if you're going to talk about it, just do it. You
So
say,
you're saying capo yet?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
Nate, let me stop you right there.
It
Capo
kind of
yet?
sounds like that's what you're saying.
well, dude, hey, no, I don't want to say capo yet because I don't want capos. We're the only team in the league without it, and that makes us unique, and it makes us fucking free, all right? So if you want to be a capo, you're going to be the one that has to take the initiative to stand up on a fucking platform with your back to the field in front of thousands of people and tell them how to feel. I will help you fucking do it.
Now, to be
but you're
fair,
going to be the one that needs to do it.
To
So
be
fucking
fair,
shut up and do it.
having watched the 2016 crew, I would stand with my back to the field all of this year
Boom. Roasted.
because I wouldn't want to watch that either.
Not sure how they come back from that. Let me know.
They don't. They miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Anybody wants to be a capo, let me know. I'll help you. Moving on from user Hot Soup Heart with 1 point, quote, the Cruisers were a stellar goddamn dance troupe that entertained the crew faithful for years. Why sully their memory with this gutter misconflation? What? Misconflation. And it looked like an eye. I'm very bad at this.
One can only wonder how many blood points were lost because of Morgan.
I've thought about that before. Like, there was one recently, like, within the last, 3 months where I ruined it. And it was really good.
Was it last week? Because that's the only show we've done in the last 3 months.
Probably. Yeah.
But it happens frequently enough that it's going to distribute amongst everyone.
I mean, a lot of people are saying it's the only reason Buttle Surfer won.
It's like a herd resistance to a disease.
Power of big numbers. Maybe.
Yeah. Law of averages.
Something like that.
Yeah, Chris Doran's throbbing
Nate's
cock inside
saying
my
things.
girlfriend.
Morgan's
that's great.
Right now, actually.
Moving on. Oh shit! Look at this. For the second lowest upvoted comment here is from user underscore Ken.
Just
Legend.
underscore Ken.
Yeah,
Not
legend of
underscore
last
underscore
year.
underscore Ken
Just
underscore
underscore.
underscore underscore.
There's only one underscore?
Just no, it is spelled out underscore Ken.
Oh, it says.
John Clem, are you leaving? Goodbye, John Clem. We'll see you on Friday. Merry Christmas Eve. From user underscore Ken with 1 point, quote, Chicago has an MLS franchise in the same way that ACES Radio is a Crew SC podcast, end quote. No, wait, there's more. Hashtag Bills Mafia, end quote. End quote. That's it. All right. I mean, I don't appreciate you trying to trick the studio audience with things that I say in text form, but, whatever. John Zadar, your thoughts?
That's fine. That's kind of Hotaki-ish.
Is that right? Greg Benson.
Yeah, we've never been a Crew SC podcast as far as I'm aware.
Never. Bills Mafia until I die.
Right.
It's on a t-shirt somewhere. Right. Moving on. Okay. I spit on myself. From user Dirty Slut Pam.
Holy shit.
Oh, good God. Shit, I'm so glad somebody finally made a fucking Reddit account making fun of Pam. And I guarantee you, at some point this weekend, we're going to be in the car, and this part of ACES Radio will be on.
Just this part?
Just this part.
We haven't spoken about her at all since.
Nope.
Yeah, no, definitely. She had no mention before.
Yeah. John, from
it's
user...
not like we had 2 whole segments with Chris Doran on.
Real shit. From
I'd be
user...
surprised if she can even sit in a car after Doran's done with her.
Yeah, she more lays on her side. It's good. It's good. Roasted. From user Dirty Slut Pam with 1 point, quote, there's a hashtag War on Alex season 2. Oh, I already fucked it up. 3, 2, 1. From user Dirty Slut Pam with 1 point, quote, the War on Alex season 2 begins Saturday. Fuck you and your jerseys, Alex. Spill his blood and cover him in urine.
Oh my God.
You're the worst.
Appreciate the sponsor plugs. Can't argue that.
Spill his blood and cover him in urine. You're the worst. Hashtag sponsors. Hashtag War on Alex.
Whoa.
Jesus. Tits, dude.
The twist here is that we're going to be at the tailgate Saturday, and Pam is going to throw a bucket of piss and blood on Alex.
Steve says no, man. Oh. And that's it. And that's the final hot take.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe that had a point. All right. It was 2 hours ago, so people probably didn't have time. You know what? Moving on. Greg, you have what are we doing? Still 3?
Are we still doing 3?
Yeah,
so.
I think that's what we said last week, so yeah.
You have 3 man blood points to give away.
I have 3 blood balls to give out, and they're going to Lord of the Shits is going to get 1. Crew Pat, I want to say, is getting 1. And who was the one that was it? Mike Hudson Sucks who had the Schrodinger's marsupial. Was that one?
I think so.
I'm checking. Yes.
Mike
Hudson Sucks.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mike Hudson
he's
Sucks.
getting the other one.
Getting a point. Nate Beckman.
No, I thought it was good.
Your 3 blood points, my friend. Here we go.
Buttle Surfer, Lord of the Shits, and Phil Goldfarb.
There's 3 of them.
Fantastic. Darby Schnarvis, do you have 3 to give away?
I'm going all chalk too, like Nate. It's Lord of the Shits, Buttle Surfer, and Phil Goldfart.
Fan-fucking-tastic. John Zadar.
Oh, man. Yeah, Goldfart, Lord of the Shits. Man. And I think I'm going to go with Hug Me, Shave, and Organ, simply because he roasted all those big soccer losers.
What? He sure did, John. That's a good point.
But there are some good honorable mentions.
Morgan, who are your blood points going to?
Obviously, Buttle Surfer, the continuing champion, returning in style, Greg. A lot of people were questioning whether he or her had any power and or strength left.
You know, it's hard for a defending champion to come back first game out the gate and actually get a win, but fortunately, Buttle Surfer wasn't drawn against Crew SC at home in the first
Real
game.
talk. Real talk. So Buttle Surfer gets 1 point to Big Whiskey Ed. Literally all you have to do is talk shit about Seattle. He just said fuck Seattle, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Your
said
blood points, I suppose.
Pandering of the worst order.
As is tradition, I missed a hot take from user Todrick33 with 7
Fuck's
points.
sake.
So this is like one of the hot. Okay. From user Todrick33, quote, ain't nobody got time for this, moving on, end quote.
I can see why you missed
so appropriate, though.
I can definitely see why you missed
completely after the fact.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to change mine. I gotta change
What?
Yeah? Oh.
Yep.
What?
I want to underscore Ken and take mine away from Buttle Surfer.
Ooh.
Because underscore Ken ripped on Chicago. I appreciate that.
The fuck are you?
Okay.
Never mind.
Oh, here we go. Here's Russian Oliver. My last point also goes to underscore Ken for ripping on.
dude?
Oh, that's the wrong one. For ripping on Chicago. Now, moving on to Cruisers versus Fire. I'm sorry.
Sweet Jesus.
I'm sorry. This is like the longest episode
Yeah.
ever. I'm confused. We're going to do our preseason Cruisers FC predictions now. John Zara, I go to you first, my friend. Are we better or worse than we were in 2016?
We have to be. We have to be better.
Yeah. Is that right?
I mean, I suppose technically we could be worse, but I don't think we will be. No,
Well,
we'll be better.
I
for
ask
sure.
this because we were sold on the fact that we got better after 2015. And frankly, every team is sold on the fact that they get better after every fucking year, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
Now, in Columbus, with the Cruisers FC, the thing is you have this plague that is people getting homesick and leaving, so you lose your depth and you lose the backups and yada, yada, yada. So even with the additions, even with the defensive upgrade, are we truly better than we were in 2016? John.
I think we are.
Yeah?
I don't anticipate any of these guys hitting the road to go home or anything like that. Everybody seems. I mean,
dude, sign me off on Archer.
It's supposed
being gone.
It's completely unpredictable, I suppose, but I don't know.
Nate Beckman, are we better than we were last year?
I think we're better, but the other teams in the league are potentially better too.
Yeah.
Right? So
the East is completely
people
stacked.
say- yeah, I mean, people say, well,
we said that last year. I feel
you're
like
doing.
We were right.
By the second half of the year, now if we just get better, but all the other teams are trying to get better too.
Well, sure, that's gonna be the.
Didn't one of the GAM or the TAMs go up?
That's the case. That's going to be
More
the
money
case
to give.
every year for the foreseeable future. They're going to always every
Yeah, I
year
was
we're going to
just
have
gonna say-
more resources.
But more resources and more roster spots does not help the crew.
No.
I think, or Crew SC or whoever we are. So
$16.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
retracted it, so
because I think
The crew is
the smaller clubs, benefit from building from within and kind of finding great talent and having that go all the way through. When
Smaller
you can,
payroll
when you
clubs.
can buy it in, right?
Yeah.
When you can buy it in and get to the playoffs that way, then it puts us at a disadvantage. I think we'll be better. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to make the playoffs.
Greg Benson, are we better?
I think we have the potential to be better. This is one of those sort of clean house kind of years that we dropped a lot of dead weight over the off season. Some of that was
Sorrow's still alive. Calm down.
I was talking more about Michael Parkhurst, actually, but no, I was.
Roasted.
There's a lot of changes from last year's lineup, obviously, and that's going to require some time to get used to with the new guys coming in. And you can talk about preseason all you want, but there's still going to be that sort of adjustment period. I'm in the same camp as Nate. I think the team's going to be better than they were last year. I don't think that's going to be good enough to go anywhere as far as this season's concerned, but I'd like to see some steps in the right direction.
Yep. Now, I will say this. I don't think that there's any fucking way that we could possibly be worse than we were last year. There's just no. Unless we change our crest to that of a fire station and name ourselves after a great calamity in human history. Oliver, thank you very much for that.
The
beer.
Columbus
Italian last name,
gentrification.
too hard to say, my friend. No, it's basically just spit at this point. So I will say, yes, I think Crew SC is undeniably better, and I know I will earn the backlash from the Graham Randalls and the Scott Sedleys and the Zip Sixes of the world and all of the ultras on the East Coast for saying this, but there's no doubt we actually have a defense. It's very important in soccer. I'm led to believe, John, I'm more of a basketball guy, but...
Well, I mean, they play defense in that sport, so...
I don't.
Well, we know.
No,
We've all seen your shitty YouTube videos.
Roasted. 4 threes in the first quarter last week, John.
Yeah, it's amazing how none of your YouTube videos feature you playing transition defense.
Yeah, it's almost always just like 3 seconds on a shot.
It literally says in every description, I have edited out all the bad things to make it look better. So undeniably, Crew SC is better than we were last year. Couldn't be worse, unless your name is Bridgeview. Greg Benson, I go to you now.
Yes.
The question is,
yes,
does Crew SC make the playoffs? And if so, what position in the East do you have us?
My answer is no, but if yes, then 5th or 6th at best.
Those are playoff spots.
Yep. Yeah, at best. That's what I said. If so, if they were to make it, that's where they would come in. I don't see them punching above their weight.
So
to get
you
in.
have us outside the playoffs? Okay.
I do, yes.
You have us
barely on the
Brits,
outside looking
goddammit.
in. I don't it's not going to be a lost cause by the time we get to August.
All right.
But outside looking in is my prediction.
That's fair. I mean, it's wrong, but it's fair. Nate Beckman.
I hope I'm wrong.
Do Cruisers FC make playoffs in 2017?
Yes, and reverse cowboy.
Okay. That's a position joke.
Is there a periscope to Pam's bedroom right now or something?
Roasted. Don't know how I come back from that. Position in the East, Nate.
Yes. 5th.
Fantastic. It's been great having you back. Darby Schnarfus, do we make the playoffs, and if so, what position?
Yes, we make the playoffs. I think this year we probably don't give up, say,
85 goals.
6 to 8 of those last 15-minute goals, which last season would have been enough to totally get us in.
Yeah, it would have put us in second
place. If we don't
place.
fucking choke at the end of games, we're a playoff team, no doubt.
Yeah.
So I think that actually happens this year.
Because that we have a defense now?
Because we have defense.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, that's
John
the
Zard tells me you
starting
need
changes are all defense, right?
Yep. Yep.
Our offense is good enough.
I'd like to just interject real quick. Everyone
Beckman.
thinks we have a defense, but like we haven't seen these guys hardly play like against actual MLS teams other than preseason stuff, which doesn't even count.
Then why did you make any predictions at all? You should have
Because
been
we
like,
had to.
oh,
We were
no,
going around
I
the
don't know. We'll see in,
Predictions
30
in MLS
weeks.
are just worthless because it's MLS.
I'm glad we're doing this then.
Because it's fun.
That's
We're
exactly why they're happening on ACES Radio.
We're playing radio. I mean, it's just something to do. But like, I there's such a consensus. I gotta
Yeah.
say something. Like, this is.
My name's Nate Beckman,
Plus,
Home Team FC.
These people aren't even they're like. Who's the Mensa was a non MLS.
He's on the leadership committee. How dare you?
Zach
He's a DP.
Stefan is not an MLS person. Like, there's a lot of non-MLS talent that's come into the league that isn't even proven in MLS, and you can be a great player in other leagues and come in and like flop.
Okay, all right.
So,
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think
Reality
the
Nate's a
team,
party
there's
pooper.
going to be some gelling issues early on, but I think they finish strong. And I'm going to say 4th or 5th wouldn't surprise me.
All right.
No higher than that, but definitely not 6. We're not squeaking in. We're comfortably there.
Okay, all right. Darby Schnarfus says, yes, we make the playoffs, and no higher than 5th or 6th, which is okay. Doesn't feel like a prediction, but John Zadar, do we make the playoffs? If so, what position?
Yeah, and we make them in 3rd, at worst.
Jeez. Brimming with confidence, aren't you?
At worst.
I'm in the same boat as John. I say, yes, we make the playoffs, and I think 4th is about as low as we can go. Yeah, call me a Homer fanboy, but you know what? That's
Nobody will
literally
call you
what
that
I am.
after fucking last season.
Yeah.
Homer fanboy.
Darby, goddamn it. That was... how dare you.
Have they confirmed the playoff structure this year? Is it exactly the same as last year?
Yes, it's all of our games are at home.
I will say that
That we
the
won.
East is especially, I think, interesting and unpredictable with the addition of 2 teams to it, right? Is it
Yes,
it was one each.
Minnesota's
Oh,
West.
Minnesota's West? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought they were East also. My bad. Well, still, there's still those 2, wild cards. We have no idea what they're going
Right,
to do.
there are 2 teams in MLS now that have never played a game
Right.
before.
I don't think either of those teams make the playoffs, by the way.
A
Either.
lot of people are super high on
I
Atlanta.
think Atlanta. If
Atlanta
either of them do, I
might.
think it would be Atlanta.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. The East is too strong this year.
Minnesota has like the oldest or second oldest roster in the entire league. which I
Minnesota
thought
is
was
banking on
interesting.
Ben Spees. Come on.
Yeah, it's surprising that Minnesota has one of the oldest rosters because, they should be young because they're going cheap, but somehow they're the old team in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd think. I don't. Yeah. Ben Spees isn't on that
Who
team
are their
anymore. By the
marquee
way,
Yeah, he is.
players?
No, he's not.
Who's he play for?
No one. He's not on Minnesota anymore.
Everybody tweet at the Zadar on Twitter and tell him how wrong he is.
Or if he plays for someone, it's a USL team. I
I'm
think.
pretty sure he plays for Minnesota United FC.
He's like 30 seconds.
The Fighting Birds, as they say. So now we move on to our last prediction for the 2017 Cruisers FC season, and that is ultimate finish. Now, we all predicted that the Crew make the playoffs.
Indy 11. Ben Spees plays for Indy 11.
That's what I said the whole time. Rodrigo,
Saravia?
No.
Your boy?
no.
Got deported.
Castro.
We sent him
Not
to Sweden.
Fidel on Twitter. Used to work for Cruisers FC. Ultimate finish. Greg, now your prediction really doesn't matter because you said outside of the playoffs, but for the rest of us, it said yes, we make the playoffs. Want to know where we end up. Greg, I'll start with you.
Sure. Well, I said if they do, it's going to be like 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
But let's go with that.
All right. Sticking with what you said literally just the other second.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
So the ultimate finish.
Okay.
Like, where do they finish?
Yep.
Do we make the past the knockout round? Because that's where we would
If
be.
if they finish 6th, then I'll go with that just for argument's sake.
So we lose in the semis is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Nate Beckman, you say
the
play-in one,
Eastern
like
Conference final.
No, not the Eastern Conference.
you're
final.
saying we
like-
win the knockout game?
No, I'm saying we lose
okay,
the knockout.
we lose
game.
the knockout.
It would
Lose the
have
knockout.
been easier to understand if he had just not said whatever the fuck he said.
Did I say something?
You said the
You
semifinals.
said a lot of things.
I feel like I haven't spoken.
You need to relax. I know you're trying to rush so we can finish. Yeah, and I appreciate that.
100%.
But you're confused.
The French Russian at McDonald's? Turns out he's French, by the way. He's not Russian. Yeah. Whole time. Racist Greg.
Racist Morgan.
Come on.
I can't help it. All white people look the same.
Yeah,
to me.
you just said Morgan. You meant Greg.
No.
Yeah, you sure
We
did.
talked about this earlier.
Yeah, no, he's French. He's not Russian. He speaks fluent French. He has a French accent. Who knew? Nate Beckman.
Anyone who listened to him.
Cruisers FC make the playoffs. Where do they bow out? Or do they?
I think they'll win the knockout and lose the first round.
All right. Losing the Eastern semis.
That would be it.
Darby Schnarfus, you have predicted Cruisers FC make the playoffs. Where do they bow out?
Right. So I said they'd be either 4 or 5, so they'd play themselves. Either way, they get past that knockout game and then probably no further.
All right, so semis
Yeah.
as well. All right. John Zadar, the wet boy, absentee amateur artist, the butt
me.
licker. All of the names of people. Don't make that sound. Don't make that sound ever again, please. That was so disturbing, Jesus. Nate Beckman, if you're listening, make that into a drop. 3, 2, 1. Where do Cruisers FC bow out, or do they?
I can't predict they make it to the final because we already did that earlier.
Yep.
And I wouldn't believe it anyways. But I would believe that they would make it to the Eastern Conference final,
Okay.
where they would probably lose to Toronto because that's who I said was going to win.
Greg is taking the Walter puppet and making him do like, do you think I'm sexy moves? Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. In the reflection of the continuing champion trophy. Christ, that was very distracting. Okay, so I say ultimate finish is Cruisers FC make the MLS Cup final, and they lose at Dallas. We've established that with International Soccer Celebrity Chris Doran. Moving on, we have a game to predict. Thank Christ. Cruisers FC opened their 2017 campaign this weekend, folks. If you don't have your tickets, I know it's probably a good idea because we didn't play very well last year. roasted. Don't know how Goldfarb comes back from that. Before we get into our predictions, we have a new segment of the segment to debut, John.
Oh.
And it is
What's
called The Weather Report.
Oh.
That's right.
Wow.
With Alex Thomas.
Because that's what the show needed was more segments.
Yeah. Exactly. So this may I didn't test his audio.
Is it just going to be like every week? It's just going to be him going, "It's going to rain."
I hope so. I haven't listened to this. So
you haven't?
No,
This was a thing that was pre-recorded.
I
don't
replied to
see
his
Alex
email and I
here.
said it sounds great. We're going to play it 100%.
You didn't listen to it.
not
No.
at all.
You had no. Oh God!
All right, so here we
This
go.
could be
More
literally
segments
anything.
in the Human Centipede too.
Whoa, Jesus!
Production value.
I like it.
How long's it go?
I don't know. When's he going to start?
Game day weather. Cruisers SC take on Chicago Fire, Monterey Stadium, 2 p.m. Saturday. Temperature time of kicks about 40 degrees. Wind out of the south, a stiff 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's going to be cold, guys. We're talking near or below freezing wind chills. Yeah. Wrap up, strap the tents down, drink some beer. Let's go, crew.
Yes, dude. That was
Dude,
great.
I dig it.
That was awesome.
You heard that? Put an extra sock on the PFGs. It'll be cold.
I mean, it wasn't good.
What? Whoa.
The finishing.
A lot of people are saying he's better than Nate Beckman at this.
Is that true? People are saying that. Holy shit, Alex Thomas, everybody. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that being a weekly thing.
That's the first time I've actually heard the phrase "a good stiff 10 to 15," and it didn't refer to Chris Doran.
I don't know how Pam comes back from that.
She doesn't.
She's still laying
Birth canal doesn't.
I hope her legs grow together. Now we talk about...
The next Derek Hughes is just parasailing out.
People forget that was supposed to be my stepson. The original joke was he was my stepson. Okay.
Yeah, I know. We took it and
moving
ran
on.
with it.
My son... okay, moving on. So what to watch for Crew versus Fire this weekend. Greg, we go to you first. Yes. What are you going to be... What is interesting you from an on-field perspective?
Kind of how the new lineup, particularly the new defense, clicks with each other, because that was the biggest letdown of the side last year, and you'd argue in several years gone by, MLS is not a defense-oriented league, so a team that's got a good one is
as we know from the existence of Eric Garrick for so long.
Oh,
boom roasted, Kevin Burns, boom roasted. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
rare,
no,
it's rare to have an entire
see how
unit be new.
Yeah, so I want to see how well they work together. I'm hesitant. I think there's going to be some time required, and
well, you sound convinced.
Yeah, no. I want good things.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I want this team to do well.
Nate Beckman,
So
what are you looking for on the field?
I don't think there's any chance that Chicago got good over the course of the last season, over the off season, I guess.
Okay.
So if they come in and are average and the Crew win, I'm not sure that really tells us that much. If they come in and win against us on our home field, I think that has...
Bad news bears.
Yeah, that's really distinctively terrible. So I'm not sure. I'm definitely interested in seeing the new goalkeeper. I mean, this is the first non-Steve Clark goalkeeping start of an MLS game in the Berhalter era? Is that
Since
true?
2013.
Right? Like, he's never had... So I was not necessarily a huge Steve fan, but maybe it was the system or something. Maybe the system made Mike Parkhurst look terrible at that and playing him out of position. And it'll be interesting to see that. So I'm also interested in the defense, seeing how that goes. But I don't know that Chicago is going to be terribly dangerous. So,
but terrible for sure. Darby Schnarfus, what are you looking for on the field?
All right, what I'm watching for is if Acura C are up, say 1-0 late in the game.
Oh, God.
What I'm watching for is if Eric Garrick jumps off the fucking bench and heads a ball in to tie the game late.
Because he's a coach. He's coaching for Chicago Fire, right?
Yes, he's officially a coach for the team, and awesome kudos to him. But that broke my heart when he did that. And I'm sure, it was fantastic for him. But, that basically just summed up the whole season for me. So.
Whatever. I'd still boom if I saw him running downtown. All right. Fantastic. John Zadar, what are you looking for on the field, my friend?
Well, I think everybody's already said the defense is obviously something to keep your eye on, but I think I'm more interested in seeing how Higuain handles a full, or at least however much of a game he sees, whether that's 90 minutes or 75, whatever it happens to be. I think that is what I'm most interested in. Him back at full strength. hopefully doing things that he's always
Pippa shit
done. Yeah, the thing we've come to know him for. And if he is doing that, then I think people like to make fun of those expected goal stats, but I think that those that we had great expected goals last year. I think maybe those finally start to fall our way and start going in like they should have been.
Have we confirmed he is truly like 100% right now?
According to him.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and from what we've seen in the preseason, that dude looks hungry.
And he didn't seem. I believe him because last year he didn't seem. He was not hesitant to say like I'm not. He seemed pretty upfront about it last year. It was with taking time off and saying like it's hard to. It's I'm still coming back from this. I think if he says he's good to go, I believe him. But I think he's really the biggest factor that I'm going to be interested in on Saturday.
Plebis Question legend Andrew King wrote an article about something Higuaín said in a phone kind of interview from Brazil, where he said, that was the first time I'd ever been hurt to the extent where it took me out of games for an extended period of time. And if you think about that, this guy's not necessarily young. He's been playing soccer his entire goddamn life, and that was the first time ever that he had ever missed time for an extended period. And I just think that based on what I've seen in the preseason, and I'm more of a basketball guy, John, I don't know if you know that, but from what I know about soccer, that dude looks like he's fucking ready.
I mean, I wasn't shocked last year knowing what he had to have done, a hernia surgery, that he was struggling to come back from it. I mean, I know you've had it, I've had it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's no way that anyone's still dealing with that. Makes that fucking block in the Atlanta United game. You can't get your leg that high off the ground. Right. I'm sorry. So I think he's I think he's fine. I think he's back now from that.
And frankly, I wonder if it wasn't more than a hernia last year, because I've had 2 of those goddamn surgeries, and you just don't. It's not a surgery where it's like, it didn't take. Yeah. It's sewing mesh into your goddamn muscle wall.
It could conceive. I mean, anything could conceivably fail, but
sure, but not when you monitor it at a professional athlete level.
Sure.
Do you think he got a vasectomy while they were? Yeah.
I also don't think that's something that could keep you out longer than a weekend.
Let me ask you, Morgan, do you kick a ball for a living?
Sometimes.
Do you constantly move your legs and your torso and your abdomen?
Can confirm
as
he
a part of
absolutely
your
does
job?
not.
I won't answer
I mean,
that.
I feel like you don't move your midsection at all. So
I understand what you're saying.
I mean,
that's actually a very good point.
I will say that
the feet have got to come down off the desk eventually. That's what.
Okay, Greg. Jesus Christ.
I'm 2 years removed from my surgery, and when the weather is favorable, I play at least 2 days a week, and I go to the gym multiple times a week now, and I still have pain in the area where they cut me open to do my surgery.
Yeah.
So that whether it's scar tissue pain or whatever it is, I still experience it 2 years on. So it's not an easy thing.
It's not.
The surgery, honestly, the recovery of the surgery is worse than the fucking hernia.
Dude. What your testicles look like and feel like after a hernia surgery is just some shit that you were like, I wasn't aware that they came up with this in a Freddy Krueger movie.
Yeah. I told my mom when I was recovering at her house because I couldn't
formed.
walk to the bathroom. I said, I would have rather just kept the hernia.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'd love to sit on the toilet right now, but my balls are too swollen and purple.
Every position hurts.
Yeah.
Life
try
itself.
Dude, the day after I had my last hernia surgery, at the time I was driving a 1986 Honda Civic hatchback manual transmission 4-speed, living in Detroit, and I drove that to work the next day. And
you went to work the next day?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh no, it was a terrible idea. Why? I was young and stupid.
I was bedridden for like a week and a half.
Oh yeah, dude. That clutch was about 5 feet long. Oh, it was the worst.
I think Rough Lads was how he referred to the genitals.
That's exactly what I called them.
God rest their souls.
Moving on. What I'm looking for in this game is actually on the Chicago side of the ball, because they have a completely new midfield with Dax McCarty and Juninho, who for a millisecond we thought was going to be... Yeah, we thought he was going to be, Cruiser FC. So, for some reason... It's maybe the fanboy in me. I feel very confident in our defense. I feel like we've addressed it. We have guys in place. It's just like, how are the teams like Chicago that we're used to being not good going to line up and play? Because everything goes through the middle, man, and they have a good middle now.
Yeah, I was going to say, that ties really well into what I'm saying is I didn't even consider that those two dudes are out there, but those are the guys that are going to be on Higuaín.
Yep.
So if he can...
Dax
if he can still do his thing around those two dudes,
yeah.
I think that's really a good sign, and I think we're in for some fun this year. But that's a really great first test for him.
It is.
Not to mention the other pieces of the offense.
Yeah, and whoever's starting over Chani, whether it's Abu, I think it's Abu, right?
It looks like it at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, we'll see, man. Trapp being the captain, he's also got to play in that midfield. So now we go to score predictions. Before we
Back at it.
want to update last week's predictions. Greg Benson.
Yes.
You said that Columbus Cruisers FC would beat Seattle Sounders by a score of 7-0.
I did.
That wasn't true. However,
No.
they did win. You get 5 points. May God have mercy on your soul.
I don't believe in God, Morgan. You know this.
Ah, lovely. Glad to have you back, Greg. John
good to be
Zadar,
back.
you did the Price is Right variation of Greg's prediction, and you said Cruisers FC would win 6-0. That wasn't true. They won 1-0, John. You get 5 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Morgan Hughes, continuing champion. Number one, Hansi Boy. You said 2-1. It was 1-0. That was very close. You should probably get 15 points, but according to the rules, you only get 5. You're the best. May God have mercy on your soul. Greg doesn't believe in Yahweh. Moving on. We go to score predictions.
No way.
Greg, start with you, my friend. Cruisers FC, we open 2017. Chicago Fire at home.
1-1.
1-1. What a disappointment.
Yeah, it really is. They shouldn't have gone to me first.
Oh, wonderful. Nate Beckman.
3-2 good guys.
3-2 Chicago Fire.
Nope.
Nope.
Other good guys.
Oh, Crew SC.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So Nate says we win. Darby Schnarvis, your thoughts?
It's going to be cold. Everybody's working their shit out. 1-0 Crew.
1-0 Crew. SC. Way to save that $16.
Was the temperature part of your prediction?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. John Zadar.
I don't think they keep a clean sheet, so I think Chicago gets 1, but I do think we win. So I'm going to go 2-1.
Feeling 2-1, bro.
Feeling it, bro. I was going to go 3-1, but I didn't want to steal Frankie's glory.
Nah, nobody wants to do that. Or his Hyundai Elantra. Looking great.
He's
Glad to see
probably
it, Frank.
driving an Acura now, isn't he?
I think it's Nessa's car. He's been driving Nessa's car for like 3 weeks. Nessa's at college. He's like, it's behind my car. I'm not moving it without driving it. Wrecking it.
Frankie Haydock, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Duncan. So I will say Columbus Cruisers FC 1 soccer goal. Chicago Fire SC 1 soccer goal. I'm saying 1-1.
Wow, what a disappointment.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Start high and...
Did you say 1-1?
I did say 1-1.
Bitch.
Okay.
All right, I'm switching it up.
No.
Crew win 2-1. All
right. Fuck.
You say 2-1?
Yes. Do you pay any attention?
No.
I went right before you.
I hate Aces Radio. I'm more of a
At
Red
least
Cars and
Greg
Helltown
had like
guy.
4 people until I got around to you.
God.
Okay.
You know-
Okay.
Would you pick Nate?
3-2.
You said
should-
3-2.
yeah,
you said
1-0.
You should pick
1-0.
2-2.
You've picked all of the like normal soccer scores.
You can
2-2.
pick the same thing.
I can pick that Chicago will win.
You can do that if you want to be last year's Morgan.
Who doesn't?
Everyone.
That guy's pretty great. He's got a trophy from Anthony Precourt.
It's
Yeah, I'm going.
about all he's got.
I'm going 2-1 Crew.
Cocksucker.
Got to keep pace with John Zadar, the wet boy. All right. This has been a fun and dramatically long episode of Aces Radio.
Yeah, completely unexpected because that never
Sweet
happened.
I'm ready to go.
Sweet mother of God. What does GCG Bag got going on this weekend, John?
We talked about that last week, Morgan.
Yeah, we did?
You forgot, though, didn't you?
No, they have like eggs and stuff.
Eggs and kegs,
Is that
brother.
right?
The PBR, I think, is what they were touting.
That's
For members or anyone that provides a donation. So, the same old YNA deal.
Yeah, go to gcgbag.com/hot deals because I think they have the link up to raise money for their school bus purchase. Make sure that when you're with them, you're not within 5 miles of elementary school. According to Caitlin's law, they're not allowed to be there. Greg,
Yes.
are you doing stand-up anywhere?
Actually, I am. I will be back at the Shrunken Head on
Is that
Monday
right?
night. Yes,
Yes, that's right. Son of a bitch.
I don't know. I'm just trying to speak his language.
Unbelievable. Want to thank a whole metric shitload of people for stopping by. Nate Beckman, motherfucker. Great guy there.
Woo.
Darby Schnarvis, not as good of a guy, but, we're happy you're here. Chris Doran, a rare treat as always. John Clem, everybody else that stopped by tonight. Murderers Row, Oliver with an Italian last name is too hard to say. It's Christmas Eve, my friends. It's Aces Radio. You've wasted another 7 hours of your life. And all Lord Guillermo's people said... Aces.
Don't wait, Walter.
still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid. Ow!
Rough lads.
How about new?
Stank Lord. Shit Lord. Stank Lord. Shit Lord.
Mr. Poopy Pants?
John Zadar has coughed into the microphone. Morgan Hughes has pressed an incorrect button.
Dumbass! Dumbass! Dumbass!
Believe that. Believe that. Believe that. Believe that. Believe that.
Hi-oh! Just do it! You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Oh my. Shit Lord. Shit Lord.
Hello, Doc.
Yellow Beach, Columbus Crew.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
You son of a bitch.
Boom. Roasted. How about new?
Alert. Alex Thomas has entered the game. Alert. Darby Schnarfus has entered the game. Rough lads. Rough lads.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 Ain't nobody got time for that.